Nice little dive to the rim.
Oh, wow. Chachua.
Welcome to SicEm365 Radio.
Teague was waiting for it to develop. Wasn't there. Now challenges. Puts it up. Oh, what a shot. Just and under Timmy.
SicEm365 Radio is presented by IdealMRI.com. High-quality MRIs for $497 or less. IdealMRI.com. Your health is important, so is your budget.
Kispert now driving and rejected. And Baylor's on a break.
Smart move here. Little delay.
Mcclure. Splash.
Killer.
The 3 o'clock hour is sponsored by Waco Custom Marketplace. Meats, sweets, Texas treats, and a cut above the rest. 425 Lake Air Drive, Waco.
Fans are in disbelief. They're like, oh, this is awesome because we are the little guy. And I think eventually people are going to realize that we're not the little guy anymore.
Have you downloaded the SicEm365 Radio app? Do it today on the App Store and Google Play.
Well, I can tell you, we were all really tired till we landed, and then all of a sudden saw all the people to wait for us, and we're all rejuvenated. So, you know what? Staying up all night, I guess it's really not that tough anymore, even if you are 50.
Now, here's David Smoak, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoak.
All right, here we go on this Wednesday afternoon. Good afternoon, SicEm365 Radio, video feed, YouTube, Periscope, Facebook. Some of the numbers that we put up because you listen or watch what we do, the content and your interest. Paul Catalina, Craig Smoak, I'm David Smoak. Armstrong Sims run the mothership today. Like at this particular moment, right now, is Scott Drew happy?
Yes.
He's happy, thrilled. Baylor fans, what I've noticed from a lot of you is that you're having fun with this. You're enjoying this. You should. There's things you want to buy and grab and get. Like I was asked about the piece of the floor in Indianapolis, and I think you'll probably hear some news that Baylor will try to get that floor at some point back to or to Waco, Texas, in some way, just like turf when a stadium was torn down. In this case, the floor and the Final Four up in Indianapolis. There was one story today that David K. Athletic Communications shot down. There was a report that Davion Mitchell is declaring for the 2021 draft. Now, is declaring for the 2021 draft could be true, but David K., This isn't accurate. Spoke with Davion this morning. He has not declared and has no intention to decide anything until after next week's parade. Now, is he going to go to the NBA? 95%, probably yes, if not 100%. But so I saw that today with Davion Mitchell.
Our 4 o'clock guest also tweeted out that he FaceTimed with him today, and that hasn't been.
Oh, with King.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Right.
Yeah, that was Shams Charania or whatever that reported that. You know, him and Wojnarowski are like the two probably most popular NBA reporters, I suppose. But, yeah, he's the one that had that out there, and it wouldn't have come as a surprise to anybody. But if it's not accurate, it doesn't need to be put out there, regardless of how popular you may be. So I don't know where communication got crossways and either who he's talking to, who then relayed that information to Shams, or where he got that from, because if Davion is not the one who said it, which is pretty clear that he wasn't, then he needs to plug that leaky hole in the communication pipeline, because somebody popped off that didn't need to pop off. It's not that big of a deal, quite honestly. He's going to turn pro in like a few days. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm expecting. So just maybe a little bit earlier than he wanted. But, yeah, I think we're going to see that official tweet from him relatively soon.
We got a text late yesterday, and I didn't see this until we were off the air. This was really late last night, and I have up on my laptop, I got the zip whip is what it's called. It's our text line. And this is from JP. I love these Baylor Bears. I love Scott Drew. The man deserves a lifetime contract. Since at least a few years ago, Baylor should get it done. Same thing for Coach Tang. These coaches all need a raise ASAP. I watched history last night. He mentioned so many different players. All the work it took to get to this point from those who laid the foundation for these players who took this and ran with it. This is the best team ever. I'm so proud to be a Baylor Bear. That was from JP. Well, we're going to hear from King Mcclure at 4. We're going to hear today from Terence Thomas, who was a part of that team back when Scott Drew took over. I covered him when he was at Lon Morris College. He'll join us at 3:40. And Tommy Bowman played back in the late 1960s through 1970. His thoughts on Baylor winning. He, of course, one of the first ever black scholarship players in Southwest Conference history. Baylor had Westbrook, who was a part of that as well. He'll join us today at 4:30. John Machota on the Cowboys at 5.
Did you see the other Shams Baylor basketball note?
No.
All right. The Toronto Raptors plan to sign forward Freddie Gillespie of G League Memphis to a 10-day contract. So that was
awesome.
from Shams. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, quite honestly, because I only know him from the internet. Do you have any idea, Armstrong? You seem hip with it. But, yeah, I mean, I just only read his tweets, basically. But so I hope I'm respecting his name there. But, yeah, Freddie Gillespie, we just had him on the show last week. So now a 10-day contract with the Toronto Raptors, and that's a great opportunity for him. And, you know, he was kind of unsure when we were talking to him last week of what the future held. But, hey, it turned out to be pretty good for him.
No, it did. No, you're right. Freddie Gillespie, who was at Indianapolis, he was there. He and I was walking around the concourse in that game. They were dominating Houston. No, it was Arkansas. Was it Arkansas? No, we had Freddie and Devontae on Thursday, and then they're on the concourse while they're dominating Houston at halftime, taking pictures, and there's Tristan Clark as well, among many Baylor fans that were thrilled to see them. Rasir Bolton from Iowa State, their top scorer last year. Of course, they did not win a conference game. Has entered the NBA, it might as well be, it's free agency, NCAA transfer portal.
Yeah, well, there's coaching change coming there. Iowa State, everybody's going to have 6 new players every year because of the transfer portal now, but Iowa State's going to have a lot of new players. New coach from UNLV coming in who was there before under Hoiberg, so.
Now, if you want and if you haven't, and we would love for you to do so, what is it like the day after the day after? Are you still on cloud 9? Are you getting productive at the office? Are you thinking about anything other than how you can find something else to wear that says Baylor won the national championship? Have you spent time now starting to go, okay, that's over. What about next year? Be honest. How do you feel about it? 254-339-1122. The phone lines are open, and the text line is open. And I even got a text late last night from T-Rex that apologized. He apologized to me because he did not call us on our 1-year anniversary show because apparently once T-Rex got back from Indianapolis after he had finally found a way to get out of jail, he passed out when he got home.
Well, he called the post-game show, and he was
coherent?
Somewhere in the middle, right, Armstrong? He was somewhere in the middle, and the last thing he said was like, Sic'em Bears, guys, I'm going to go get arrested. So
it's always a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Make your night one of the greatest nights as a fan, and then make sure you get arrested at the end of the day.
Yeah, and speaking of Armstrong, he's on the
Here
line
he goes.
now.
He's got some making up to do to us. T-Rex.
Hey, happy belated anniversary. I don't even tell people I am related to happy anniversary, but I got to tell y'all. So sorry that I was passed out at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever time it was yesterday. I didn't get much sleep in jail after the game. So, they don't really give you a bed. They kind of give you a bench.
Yeah. Well, T-Rex, what's it feel like to 24 hours later being a national champion?
Man, my voice is like 2% back. My liver feels better. My head feels better. My tear ducts are starting to fill back up. They're not dried out anymore. I haven't taken this shirt off that says Champs on it. I took it off, but I put it back on because, it just feels good. I woke up this morning and I was getting a bite to eat, and I was like, hold on. I was like, a little 36 hours ago, we were celebrating the national championship, and I was there. So it's been crazy. I don't know. It's hard to put words to it. It just feels good. And it feels good not to be a Longhorn. So.
Yeah, even had they not beaten Gonzaga on Monday night, T-Rex would feel that way.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of echoing what a lot of people think. It's a tremendous, joyous occasion, but I don't know that everybody's really wrapped their heads around it quite yet. I mean, we keep saying national champions and things like that, but I think it's going to take me until this weekend when we just don't do shows for a couple days to let it sink in, because all we've done is talk about it constantly. So it's almost like we've talked about it so much that you can't even just sit back and think about what they actually did. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I think by Saturday afternoon, I'll probably be like, wow, or Friday night, that wow, they really did it. But yeah, I mean, it's surreal and just so awesome. And so, I mean, it changes everything. It really does. It changes everything.
Yeah, absolutely does. Paul, thanks for calling. You're on SicEm365 Radio.
Well, first, happy anniversary to you guys. I mean, it's been great to have you on the radio or on the different apps that we have and everything. I mean, you guys are fantastic in how you cover all the sports, but especially Baylor, of course. I think that the day after, I don't think I've read so much in my life in terms of Baylor basketball. I mean, all the different articles out there. I did see the first poll for next year that had Gonzaga number 1, Michigan 2, and Baylor number 3. That's even with the loss of all the Baylor people that we could probably have in terms of going pro or whatever. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
That they're already ranking next year.
Yeah, Paul, I've read, again, most of the time when we get, we'll talk about it on the show, and thanks for the call. It's funny, I've read so much stuff in the last day and a half too. When somebody writes a column on Baylor basketball, we usually get the guy on the air and we'll talk, or whoever wrote it on the air. If we tried to do that now, I mean, we couldn't do it.
Well, we've had so many writers, analysts, and all that. By the way, I've seen some that say they're just inside the top 20 because, again, they don't really know what Baylor has coming back or who can do what. But I do think they'll be ranked in the top 10 before it's all said and done.
Yeah, here's Jeff Goodman for Stadium. He has Baylor at number 10 entering next year. Now, Gonzaga has an opportunity to have a lot of guys back.
Yeah.
Baylor, I think we know they're going to lose 4 or 5 guys. I just think that that's to be expected. And this is going to be a different looking team. But, Grayson and I did the Bearcast earlier today, and you start looking at a starting lineup next year. You got Jonathan Chamwachachua down low. You got Flagler. You've got, help me out here. Meyer. You got some of your freshmen that'll be ready to play as well. So they'll still be really talented, but they are, the guards will be gone. And that's going to be really tough to overcome. But I still think that they'll have, a pretty solid team. We should still be talking about them being, flirting with the tournament and things like that. There's not going to be some, in my opinion, massive drop off. But yeah, like a run back, run it back scenario, I don't foresee that, happening next season. But I think there'll be plenty of talent.
I mean, I don't think it's something that you should that it wouldn't surprise me completely if they did. But I mean, come on, I mean, especially for Davion and Jared and Maceo, go cash a check. Let's go get it. Yeah,
absolutely. And I wish they wish him the very best of that. 254-339-1122. That's the number. We'll have Rob Bolton on the Masters. He'll join us here momentarily. Let's get to a couple of calls first. 254-339-1122. Let's get to a couple of calls. Then we'll come back. Rob Bolton has to take a flight, and we'll have him on to discuss Augusta National.
All right, rapid fire. Don, you're on SicEm365 Radio.
Gentlemen, how are you guys doing? And happy anniversary again. I sent y'all a text yesterday.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
You weren't part of that text strand, but because I don't have your cell phone, and that's probably a good thing too, by the way.
Well, I appreciate it.
Y'all have been great. The coverage has been freaking awesome, and I tell you what I've been doing. Last night I went back and watched the game again, right? And then today I had to drive to Austin area, so I listened to y'all's podcast from yesterday. First I listened to the interviews, right? Y'all did. And then I went back and listened to the whole thing. So, it's just reliving all those emotions that I felt, listening to you guys, talking to your guests from yesterday again. And, man, it's just, it's an amazing feeling, guys. I've shared with the up-tempo guys that, I used to sell cold drinks just to get in the stadium or the Texas Coliseum.
Wow.
And watch Benny Johnson play, and Terry Teagle, and just to get inside the stadium, and it's and then I watched Benny Johnson. He had an All-Star game at Midway High School back in 78, I believe. They had the junior college All-Star game at Midway, and of course I watched him practice and everything, and then played the game there too. So So the microwave and I go way back.
That's awesome.
I made you myself, so I'm up there with you, David. So anyway.
Oh yeah, Terry Teagle brought us Texas. Vinny Johnson, of course.
I've heard Terry Teagle's name more in the last 3 days.
Yeah,
it's probably been uttered in the last 30 years, and that's awesome for him.
It was fantastic. Don, thank you, man. Appreciate the call. Let's take one more quick one, and then we have Rob Bolton on. We have a lot of you coming in on the text line. We're going to read everybody, and we'll take your calls throughout, in and out of the show today.
All right, Philip, you're on SicEm365 Radio.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. Just kind of wanted to give a shout-out to everyone behind the scenes for the men's program, man. What a good job, and I hope Scott and Mac Rhodes are finding a lot of money to hand out to Jerome Tang and John Jacobs and those guys to keep those guys on board here at Baylor. Because I'm checking my Twitter feed every 5 minutes and hoping I don't see them getting a head coaching job. Although I want them to, but I don't want them to leave the Bears. So just wanted to give a shout out to those guys and shout out to you guys. 1 year anniversary. I listen to you guys every day, so it's cool to have something Baylor oriented to listen to every day.
Thank you. We appreciate that, man. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks so much, and we really appreciate you listening. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I saw Alvin Brooks III today. He was at his father's press conference as his father was being introduced as the new head coach at Lamar. So Alvin III got to see his two boys yesterday, and then we saw that great picture of his sons, and he got to see them, and then I guess they traveled down to where is Lamar?
In Beaumont.
Beaumont. So, it was down in Beaumont. So, we'll see, right? I mean, a lot of the jobs are filled at this point, but you don't know, like, what levels might pop up or whatever.
Arizona just opened.
Yeah, like Arizona just opened. I don't know what the candidacies would be like for that, but they've been together a long time. And that's the thing between the players who stuck around as long as they did and the coaches who have been around as long as they have. Like, those guys earned that, and in so many ways they deserved it. And just keep that in mind for how special that run was, because it's going to be hard to imagine putting together a group like that again anytime soon.
When we come back, the Masters starts tomorrow. Art Strickland will join us from Augusta National tomorrow evening, late in the day. And Rob Bolton joins us. We make our picks on the Masters. This is the only day he could be on today and the time because he's about to catch a flight. Terence Thomas, Tommy Bowman, King Mcclure, and more. Let us know how you feel, and if you text and we can't read it right now, we will. And we will take calls throughout the show until 6, 254-339-1122, SicEm365 Radio. Cat skin leather, it's about as good as it could possibly get, right? And right now, Pickup Outfitters, our good friend Jay Errett, Baylor alum, he's on Cloud 9 as well. At Pickup Outfitters in Waco, Cat Skin itself is the leader brand of leather replacement seats, and Pickup Outfitters of Waco on Lake Air Drive is a Cat Skin authorized dealer and preferred installer. You can buy something, but is it going to be put in or installed the right way? And that's what Pickup Outfitters, of course, does. They have great product, customer service, and they get the job done. They will remove the old cloth from your seats of your car, truck, or SUV. Replace it with luxurious custom leather. Customization options are endless. In fact, colors you want, the type of stitching you want, and let Pickup Outfitters do their magic. That's, by the way, on their site, on createacommotion.com, there's a video that shows you the process of putting the cat skin leather inside of your car, truck, or SUV and replacing your seats. Cat skin leather replacement kits available, cars and trucks. Customer satisfaction is, of course, huge with any popular and good business, great business, and it's the case there as well. Factoring matching leather kits. And I'm telling you right now, there's that video. It's great because you'll look at it and go, man, at createacommotion.com. Pickup Outfitters, owned by proud Baylor alum Jay Errett, his wife Carol, 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
How can we help you? That's a question we ask every day at American Bank. Hi, I'm President and CEO Dana Hassel. Our commitment to our customers is what drives us. It's why we've invested in new branch buildings and technology like ITMs that let you speak to a teller face-to-face from your car. It's why we work with local businesses, helping Waco grow and thrive. And it's why decisions about your accounts and loans are made here in Waco by people who know you. How can we help you? Find out at American Bank, member FDIC.
And
Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs. Even offering financing if that's needed, everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Board Certified Personal Injury Trial Lawyer and Baylor alum David Willis and Baylor alum Parker Willis are ready to help if you or a loved one has been wrongfully injured in an auto accident, SUV rollover, industrial accident, 18-wheeler crash, or were seriously injured by a defective product or recalled drug. Call them for a confidential and free case consultation at 1-800-GOT-HURT or visit them at texastriallawyer.com, principal office in Houston, Texas.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Ram Truck Month means special pricing on the new 2021 Ram trucks at Allen Samuels. The three-peat Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram 1500 Lone Star Crew Cab, has special values up to $5,500 or 0% for 84 months. Allen Samuels, located at 201 West Loop 340 in Waco, Central Texas' new Ram commercial truck headquarters with 3,500 and 5,500 chassis cabs and other great work trucks. Visit Allen Samuels today. It's Ram Truck Month.
Come by. Let's be friends.
See dealer for details. All offers have credit requirements.
Stepping into a new pair of boots is great, but stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can also add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. There are more than 150 occupational specialties to help them find the best fit for their future. See all the things your son or daughter can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Welcome back to SicEm365 Radio. SicEm365 Radio's coverage of the Masters from Augusta National in Augusta, Georgia is brought to you by Bear Ridge.
Oh, we appreciate Tommy Tompkins. They have renovated, rejuvenated, and really, I'm not saying like Scott Drew did the men's basketball team, but what Tommy Tompkins and that group is doing just south of Waco on Highway 84, it's fantastic. That place needed a facelift, Botox, whatever, and they're doing it. We're now joined by Rob Bolton, PGA Tour analyst, who joins us on SicEm365 Radio. Come on, tell us right now, who did you pick, Gonzaga or Baylor?
Guys, what a week. I tell you what, you guys are living the best life of everyone right now. I tell you what, you got Baylor. Congratulations to them. By the way, if you're a Baylor fan, and I know a ton of Baylor fans are listening, if not all of them, I'm a Cubs fan. You guys know that. 2016 World Series, Cubs going all the way. No one's ever seen it before, at least no one alive. And it remains the best thing as a sports fan ever since. There's a little bit of a, up and down, but enjoy the HELL, you know what, out of it, because it just never goes away, and no one can ever take it away from you. Every time I think about the Cleveland Indians, they were one game. They went into extra innings, and they still haven't been back, and their drought obviously continues. So you get so close, and then the ball happens to go, bounce your way. Congratulations to Baylor fans. And guys, happy anniversary.
Hey,
I tell you what a week for you.
Yeah,
seriously.
It's been fantastic. We appreciate Scott Drew delivering that so we could talk about it on year one. It was fantastic. Okay, we got to go rapid fire because you got a plane to catch. Rob Bolton, we're going to go Craig, Armstrong, me, Paul, and then Rob. 1 through 5 and then backwards. Rob, of course, won, I think, the last two, right? Haven't you won the last two tournaments? I believe you have.
Yes, haven't I won the last two? I'm going halfway to the Bolton Slam right now.
I know. And then last tournament, I think you had an unbelievable surge in the last day, and my guys kind of semi-collapsed a little bit. It was awful. I felt like Greg Norman in 1996 at Augusta with Nick Faldo. Craig, we start with you.
I'll go Dustin Johnson.
All right, the defending champion.
I got Spieth. Thank you,
Craig.
Thank you, Craig.
On fire.
I wasn't picking Spieth, brother.
I'm going to take Justin Thomas.
All right, I'll take John Rahm.
And you get back-to-back, Mr. Rob.
Who we got drafted? Craig, David, Paul. I missed one.
Armstrong, our producer.
Yeah, Armstrong.
I got it.
Yeah.
Took Rahm.
Yep.
Yeah, I took Rahm.
Okay. Then I got to go with Patrick Cantlay.
All right.
To end the first round. And because I love him too much, Patrick Reed, somebody has to, right?
Oh, my gosh.
His in-laws don't, so.
You hate him. Armstrong hates Patrick Reed.
Oh, so much.
All right.
All right. I'll take Webb Simpson.
I'm going to take Xander Schauffele.
All right, I'll take Morikawa.
All right.
Anybody take McIlroy?
Nope.
All right, Rory.
He's you get back-to-back picks.
And I'll go. Did anybody take DeChambeau?
Nope.
I'll take DeChambeau.
Holy crap!
That's bananas.
Yeah. All right, Armstrong.
I'll take Webb Simpson.
He's already
just took
taken.
him.
You just took him?
I took him.
Yeah.
Dang it. Okay. I'll take Victor Hovland.
That's a good pick, man. Let me see here. I'm gonna take Lee Westwood.
Yeah, that's good.
He's played really well. I know he hadn't closed, but all right, Paul.
Tony Finau.
There you go. You get back-to-back, Rob, and then these are your last two picks.
By the way, Craig's having the best week than everybody there. I tell you what, with this draft so far, I think I just want to fold. Honestly,
This is the blackjack table.
By the way, the best thing about the Masters, so many of the guys make the cut. It's so top-heavy. This should be a really good competition for all of us. I know we had one in November, but then you guys all fell for the Tyrrell Hatton, Rob Bolton extraordinaire special.
Yeah,
and that's the reason I've won two of these things. All right, so let's go ahead with Cameron Smith.
All right.
And then Matthew Fitzpatrick, going by Matt for some reason these days. Matt Fitzpatrick to round it out.
All right, Paul, back to you.
I want to, Smokey, but I just can't. I cannot.
You have one more pick. You have two Florida State guys on the box.
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna take Daniel Berger because Brooks Koepka is hurt, and I like if he plays, I'm sure he'll be fine. I drafted Dustin Johnson literally seconds before he fell down the stairs, so I don't want to have that kind of happen again.
I love it.
But Koepka's there.
I know he's there. Well, so was Dustin Johnson. He fell down the stairs.
So Gary Player's there too, and so is.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. All right. It's my
Ian Woosum's still on the board
with his caddy.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on a wild horse and take Sung Jae Im.
Okay, I'll take Scotty Scheffler.
Is he even in the tournament? He's in the tournament, right,
Yeah,
Rob?
he is.
Help me. Okay, you're going to
Scotty?
Okay, Scheffler. Craig?
I guess I'll go Tony Finau.
No, he's already taken.
Oh, he is? Okay. Go.
Wisdom.
Go Cameron
Smith. You have one matter.
He's gone too.
Okay. Scheffler taken?
Yep.
All right. Man, I really don't want to go Tyrrell Hatton again. It was busting me last time.
Do it.
That's what busted me last time. I'll go Jason Day.
All right, Jason Day. All right.
Oh, wow. Jeez. Nice fourth option there where you couldn't figure out who was already taken. I mean, honestly, you don't deserve that last pick like that. That's pretty damn good. I'm impressed.
He's a
I don't know what to say. Craig, you killed us. I don't know how the guys follow your way like that. I don't like, necessarily DeChambeau to contend, and Day would be a bit of a surprise, but good God, that's a terrific job. And the rest of us shooting for second place, obviously.
Yeah. What do you think?
But Armstrong, your team has so much youth. Interesting. I mean, you're the one that stands out in terms of going a different way. So I'd be very curious how you'll stack up at the end compared to the rest of us.
Yeah, his average age is like 22 of that team.
I like my young guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Armstrong's golf knowledgeable as well, so he's going to throw a little wild card being another pick in here.
So are we saying that it took pick number 10? No, with DeChambeau? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was my
11.
11?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, so he's number 11. DeChambeau's number 11, or 17 in my power ranking. So if we were going to go straight off that, which is just a guide, not necessarily for every draft, he actually went at a higher value than I believe. I think there's a little. I love DeChambeau, I always have, and I love who he is, sort of the mad scientist, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde personality, in the ropes, outside the ropes. I dig the whole thing. I'm all in. But Augusta National doesn't release the green speeds, and this is his fourth or fifth appearance, and he's still trying to figure it out. Some guys take a while. Took Webb Simpson 8 times before he made a leaderboard appearance. He got better with a putter. That's what it took, and he's obviously one of the best ball strikers throughout his career in the world. And DeChambeau does a lot of things, but he still has to learn these greens. I think that's the knock on him. And the par fives are his friend, no doubt about it, but he still has to get the ball in the hole. That's my concern with him. But I love him as a third-round pick in this draft.
Rob, do you think that the fact that these guys had only, 5 months as opposed to a whole year between Masters will change the way that this plays a little bit?
That's interesting. Obviously, it's going to be golfer specific. I think it benefits the first-timers who were there in November, no doubt about it. They come right back. So many of them. There were 26 in the field in November, only 6 first-timers this week. And only 3 of those guys are professionals. So we should see quite a bit of familiar faces atop the leaderboard. I mean, we always do in this tournament. But guys who have played well at Augusta National, wouldn't be surprised if it happened again for guys like Sanjay M. I mean, just a terrific last-round pick. I was debating him over Fitzpatrick. And then Berger was in there too, so those guys went bang, bang, bang there. CT Pan is another guy. Victor Perez. I mean, these guys have some experience, been playing really well earlier in the year, and now they get right back at it. So I think it benefits them maybe more than anybody else. The challenge they have is seeing the course in April. Should play faster, right? It's a different construct. It's the traditional construct of how the tee times are set. The most of the week, got some fans back. So they're going to experience that. But what's interesting, the final point on that is the course in November played very similar scoring-wise as it did in November of 19. Both times under par. Both the first times the course has played under par since 1992. I don't know if that's going to be a trend. I expect the course to fight back a little bit, but Fred Ridley's the new chairman. He may want to see more birdies and eagles, and certainly the course can surrender quite a bit of those.
Imagine if I would have said a year ago that Brooks Koepka and or Tiger Woods would not be a part of 20 picks to win the Masters. How much things have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Koepka is the biggie, right? Obviously, Woods is always a question mark, no matter when it is. But you're right about Koepka. The thing about him is, and if anybody's ever been there, it's a hilly place. It's one of the hilliest courses on the PGA Tour, and he has that knee injury. That's the wrong injury to have on a course like this. We'll see what happens. I think he's a good no pick. If we went 6 deep, maybe, and maybe the rules were a little different, where we can maybe have one missed cut, somebody's going to grab him. Even in this format, if you were allowed one missed cut, he probably would have gone.
Yep.
I would have taken him.
Yeah, I agree. All right, if DJ wins, he doesn't need to validate anything, but how much would that, even more so, because there was a little bit of chatter about the way the tournament was set up, despite, as you mentioned, the scoring, if he goes back and then follows it up with a win?
I'm going to answer that with a question for you guys. You guys are golf fans. Remember when Padraig Harrington won 3 majors without Tiger Woods? Mm-hmm. And everybody was wondering if those deserved an asterisk. That's what, 12 and 13 years ago now?
Yeah.
Little bit of time ago, but we remember that. And no one's slapping an asterisk on Harrington winning those majors. He'll be in the World Golf Hall of Fame, no question. And that conversation ended a while ago. If you compare that, I guess it's really not a question I'm going to ask you, but I mean, this is the way I think about it. Like, if you compare that experience to DJ validating at the Masters, giving he's the top golfer in the world, he's won in every season, so on and so forth, also on his way to the World Golf Hall of Fame. Which deserves the asterisk more if you had to place it somewhere? I don't think you do it now. I think you do it when Harrington, because Woods was literally unbeatable at that point. So that's how I sort of frame it. And no one's, applying an asterisk to Harrington. I'm not going to do it for DJ. So I don't know if validation is the right word. Maybe just to prove that that he, he's coming in with a little less form than maybe he had, and it's just golf is just tough to retain that level. But I think the most surprising thing, if you're talking about validation, would be if he missed the cut, right? That would be the biggie. And then that narrative will go in a different direction.
Thank you, Rob. Good luck. Enjoy. There's nothing like it. You're going straight from NCAA in the Final Four to the Masters. Baseball season has arrived, and we appreciate your time. Good luck with it, and we'll keep up day by day. I'm sure you will if you're winning.
I'll try. Living vicariously through you guys this week. Love you. Thank
you,
again,
man.
guys.
You'll have to.
Take
That's
care.
Rob Bolton, PGA Tour golf analyst.
One quick note before we go to break. And Oklahoma and Baylor, they were scheduled to play a softball series this weekend in Waco in accordance with Big 12 guidelines. That series has been postponed. So if you were planning on going out to Getterman this weekend, there will be no Baylor-Oklahoma softball series. They will look to reschedule at a later date.
It's the second consecutive series the softball team is.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. It does make you wonder. When we come back, Terence Thomas, former Baylor forward. I covered him when he was at Lawnmowers College. He was really good. Had a heck of a nice run at Baylor. He was here when all the changes went down. His thoughts. Baylor national champions in men's basketball. Next. This is SicEm365 Radio.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine, Lakeshore Drive at North 19th Street in Waco. A hidden gem. Look, if you're a fan of craft beer, they rotate them out. It's unbelievable with the seasons. During the seasons, all kind of different things that come in and out of that store. Just go into their big walk-in fridge there and see all the cool different stuff that they have. They always have the latest in spirits. They always have the latest in wines. They always have something different. You have your classics, but they always have something different, something new that they're going to have there, something new to try. And that's what Steve and Debbie do there. They bring new things in. You try new things. Their staff, incredibly knowledgeable about everything you're going. And so if you see something, oh, hey, what's this like? They'll be able to tell you. They'll be able to give you the pitch on it. Really great staff, really fast drive-through window, great clean in-store location, and again, craft beer like you would not believe in that walk-in fridge. So check them out on Facebook and Instagram, Riverbend Liquor and Wine, Lakeshore Drive at North 19th Street in Waco.
1, 2.
I'm in love with a man named Rudy. I'm okay with that. He knows exactly what I want. He keeps me coming back. Cooks breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me. Does the dishes too. I'm in love with a man named Rudy. Last name Barbecue. It sure is easy to fall in love with Rudy's tasty oak smoked barbecue.
Next in line.
Boots add protection. Good boots help you climb better and move forward faster. And when your son or daughter steps into the boots of a U.S. Army officer, they also learn how to lead. In these boots, they'll gain more confidence with expert training in one of more than 150 occupational specialties. In these boots, they'll stand a little taller and lead a team with diverse backgrounds and areas of expertise to successfully accomplish whatever challenge comes next. In these boots, they'll earn respect with valuable experience from day one that will give them solid footing for success into the future. Highly qualified candidates who earn a spot on our team can receive comprehensive health care coverage, college tuition assistance, and a bonus of up to $40,000. See all the things your son or daughter can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible and rewarding challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like our free First mobile app, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. That's the First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
One size fits all. That may be all right for an adjustable belt or cheap sunglasses, but when it comes to your financial needs, no one wants a one-size-fits-all strategy. Cam Heathcott, your Edward Jones financial advisor, knows that his most important goals are yours. That's why he takes the time to understand your needs, knowing you. That's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing. Cam Heathcott, covering Conroe and Houston, 936-756-7717 or cam.heathcott@edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
It's time to fire up the grill, heat up the oven, or get that deep fryer going to enjoy the top quality products at Waco Custom Marketplace. Order 30-pound sacks of live crawfish by 6 on Wednesday. Pick up on Friday afternoon after 2 or Saturday. Enjoy the weekend. 30-pound sacks of live crawfish available right now for $4.25 a pound. Find all the crawfish boil ingredients you need, including red beef potatoes, sausage, corn cobettes, and Louisiana boil seasoning. Make your order for live crawfish by Wednesday at 6. Pick up on Friday after 2 or all day Saturday, and enjoy the weekend. Waco Custom Marketplace, your home for fresh baked kolache, cinnamon rolls every day. Butcher shop to cut your steaks the way you want. Fresh seafood, summer sausage, boudin, house cured and smoked bacon, spices, seasonings, soup mixes, and more, and weekly gift boxes for any occasion. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
This is SicEm365 Radio. Text us at 254-339-1122. The SicEm365 Radio text line is sponsored by Riverbend Liquor and Wine, with the most extensive variety of craft beer in Waco. A hidden gem on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street.
All right, here we go. This 3 o'clock hour. We'll have Tommy Bowman, who played from 1967 to 1970. At Baylor, join us at 4:30 today. King Mcclure at 4, but we're now joined by Terence Thomas. He was with Baylor for a couple of years after his time at Lawnmowers College. He was there during the transition and as proud as anybody else. And Terence, good afternoon on SicEm365 Radio. When you knew it was over, and it probably was over 7 minutes into the game, but when it started to count down Monday night, can you kind of share the emotions going through your body?
I was ecstatic. I couldn't hold my emotions. Me and my fiance, we were going crazy.
Terence, you were here at the beginning of Scott Drew's tenure. What was in your mind thinking about him actually getting to that goal, building a national title, knowing what everything you guys had to go through at the beginning?
It was tough at first in the beginning because we didn't know what to expect, especially after the year we were there. We didn't know what to expect, so just to see the program, how it escalated from that point on is just a great feeling, especially to be in these days and times with the pandemic and everything going on, just to be able to win a national championship in itself. That was amazing for the program.
Can you imagine what it must have been like for those guys to be cooped up for all intents and purposes, Terence, like a month together? I mean, they had to do that. How much more difficult do you think that made things in some ways, but also how do you think it also helped propel them to going and winning the whole thing?
It made it difficult because, of course, you want to see your family members. You want to socialize with your friends, but at the same time, it kind of helped them because if you think about it, the majority of those players want to play professional basketball, and when you want to be a professional basketball, you got to have that tunnel vision and that focus. So that kind of was a good thing. It helped us out in the end.
So would you Take us through what you see when you watch this team that just won the national title. Unselfish, great defense, tough as nails, obviously a lot of chemistry, whatever else you want to throw in there, and just talented as they could possibly be. As a player, what do you see when you watch them play?
Because I'm transitioning into coaching actually too, so as a basketball player and as a future coach, I always look at the small things. Like I'm always looking at the way guys warm up or the way guys prepare for the games, especially from the start. Because if you notice, the first 5 minutes of a game and then after halftime, the first 5 minutes of the second half, those are some of the most important times. So when you're coming out with energy, you got to understand we got 3 offensive rebounds from Mark Viter right off the bat. I knew they were ready to play. His energy is so contagious to where you got to see those small things. And so if your leader, he's playing hard, then everyone else going to follow.
What style, is there a player whose style you liked on this team above anybody else?
My favorite player, my fiance and my favorite player, we love Mark Viter. We love Mark Viter and Matthew Meyer for the simple fact, Mark, he does things like Dennis Rodman. He's like the Dennis Rodman type. He's the X factor of the team because, of course, coming out of high school, he was one of the most talented players we ever had coming into the program. But for him to transition into that role, you got to understand you have to have a role and accept it. And he accepted this role for responsibility. He's one of the best defenders. He's huge. He's athletic, and he's tough. So you can't beat that. That's him and Matthew Meyer, my favorite 2 players.
Am I right in saying that Vital had more offensive rebounds than like basically Gonzaga's entire team?
Yeah. It was 16-5, I think, in offensive rebounds.
I mean, Terence, how much does just getting that off? You know, they started off the game, they missed a couple of shots, but they got to the offensive boards and were able to put it back eventually, and then they just go on that run. I mean, how key was that to the start, was getting those missed shots, cleaning up the offensive boards throughout the game?
It's just about heart and determination because when you miss shots, you know, those offensive rebounds, those are 50-50 ball. Those are hustle, but those are hustle plays. So if you're not willing to do that, then you're not going to win much games. And I think even against Houston, they said they were going to beat us on the boards, but we were competing on the offensive glass and the defensive glass against Houston. So it just carried over into the championship game. And I think Mark just had his mind made up. He really had his mind made up. You could tell.
Terence Thomas with us, SicEm365 Radio. You decided, you arrived, and you went through, again, the transition from what was to what then began an 18-year journey with Scott Drew. Terence, when guys like Lawrence Roberts, John Lucas III, when some of them decided to leave, and for good reasons, obviously there was a mess, what made you stay, and did you have any bitterness for those who left?
At first, I had a little bitterness because I was thinking they should have stayed. They should have, grinded it out with us. But at the same time, Matt Samuel, R.T. Gwynn, and myself, we figured we're about to be seniors. There's no reason to leave. And plus, I'm from Waco, so I figured my family and friends can see me play one last year. And plus, we had a new coaching staff coming in, so we busted our tail to get in shape, tip-top shape, actually, and it carried over into the season, and it turned out to be a blessing in disguise to stay. It was no reason to leave anyway, to be loyal, so it worked out in our favor.
How much of a coach will you be like Scott Drew? How much will you be like other coaches that you've had in your life?
Say that again?
How much of your coaching style will be like Scott Drew? How much may be gleaned from other coaches, and what's uniquely you?
I love Scott Drew. I love his coaching style now because he lets you play. As you notice, if you can see the basket, shooting. That's one of my philosophies when I coach kids or train them. If you can see the ball, if you can see the basket, shoot it. But if you can't make a play for somebody else, and we get stops and play defense and rebound, you can win plenty of games. So that's the style that I like to play. I don't really like to put a leash on players. You can kind of slow them down sometimes when they get erratic. But other than that, you're supposed to let basketball players play basketball.
You mentioned, being from Waco. What do you think something like this means to the city, Terence, and how much have you just seen it grow over the years, especially here in, the last 5 or 6? It's
been growing. It's been growing so much to the point where when we come back for the summertime, when the older guys come back, and you can see the maturation of the new guys coming in, and it's not, they understand the game, and it's weird because they really put the work in, and you can see the guys committed to the program, and they're committed to being selfless. This team right here, they really shared the basketball, and they wasn't pointing fingers at each other or who shot the ball the most. Mm-hmm. They really were unselfish, and that's why I think we won, because they shared the basketball and they played defense. And I think go ahead.
No, go. I'm sorry, Terence. Go ahead.
No, you're okay. I mean, they just shared the basketball, which is the greatest part about the game of basketball.
I believe it was the semifinal game, was it not? When you looked up and they were beating Houston badly, and Maceo Teague had 1 point at halftime, and you never saw him pout. You never saw, and then he ends up with a chunk. It's like sometimes Jared Butler would have only a little bit. Next thing you know, he'd finish with 12, 15, 18 points, or if it was Davion or Adam Flagler. By the way, we've added Adam Flagler will join us today from the Baylor championship team at 4:45 on SicEm365 Radio. I saw a video that Scott Drew did with you and Tweety Carter, and it has what they call called the gun, which is when you shoot, whether you make the shot or not, it goes into this net, kicks it down, and it kicks you out like a tennis ball if you're trying to serve a volley, a tennis type machine. I saw him in using the two of you and your shooting type a drill. When did that happen? That was like 10, 12, 15 years ago?
It probably had to be about like 10 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
And
it was one of those drills to where, he demonstrated and he explained like the different style of shooting. And as you can see, like Maceo has one of the weirdest shots, but I ask him because I'm an old head, so I always go back and ask guys. I have to ask questions because I always like to, pick their brain. So I was like, why do you shoot like that? And he said his mom taught him how to shoot. And so when he was shooting the basketball in the tournament, all you could do was like when he made shots, his mama taught him how to shoot that. And he was just making baskets after baskets. And as you can see, Davion worked on his jump shot. Jared worked on his. And one thing about Adam Flagler, man, a lot of people got to watch out for him because he can shoot the basketball too.
Yeah, he hasn't even scratched the surface yet, has he, Terence?
Oh no, oh my goodness, it's gonna get real interesting because Adam Flagler can play basketball. He can play some basketball.
Yeah, he can. They're going to be pretty salty next year, even with some guys leaving. And, there was a report today about Davion declaring for the draft. He said he hasn't done that yet. I think, Terence, it's going to probably happen. And he's being viewed as a lottery pick. What do you see in his game, and what do you think will be successful for him at the next level?
He's special. He is special because he can shoot the ball, and as you can see, he's lightning quick. And he's sneaky athletic. And he plays defense. What more you want out of a basketball player? And I honestly think that, I don't know who's going to declare, but Matthew Maher, he should be on a lot of people's radar because he is the offense and he's athletic too.
Terence
so
Thomas.
You never know.
Terence Thomas on SicEm365 Radio. Have you bought anything that says Baylor National Champions? Any shirt? There's that video. We were just seeing the video up as we were talking to Terence about that shooting drill. Have you bought anything yet that has National Championship on it?
No, not yet. I'm gonna make the trip down to the parade. They said they were gonna invite former players and former staff members. So I'm pretty sure they got some stuff for the old people around there.
They got some swag, right?
Yeah, April 13th. So in about a week they'll be doing that.
You'll get some swag.
I'm pretty sure I can grab something. I got a little weight around there, so I'm pretty sure we can grab some.
Hey, Terence, how much does it mean to you as a former player to have the relationship that all you guys seem to have with the program? I mean, a lot of guys can go off, you live your lives and, maybe come back for a reunion or something like that, but it seems like Scott Drew's really built something special with the former players, getting to know current players and feeling free to come back around. How much does that mean to you?
It means a lot. It means a lot because I was telling someone when we first met the coaching staff with Coach Drew, and he sat us down. He was like, if we were to stay, it was going to be a lifetime commitment. And we didn't believe him because, a lot of coaches can say a lot of things, but it definitely, he kept his promise. It's a lifetime commitment. win, lose, or draw, all the old players always can come back. You know, it's just like everything is like we're still on scholarship. The only thing we're missing is the jersey. But no, it's all love. It's definitely a lifetime commitment.
Do you know guys who you played against, others who went play college basketball elsewhere? Is it like that everywhere?
I'm not sure because you know, everywhere I went overseas or if I went to the D League, anywhere I always went, I always carried my Baylor stuff with me. Like I always had a couple of T-shirts, some shorts, some sweats or something. But I never really just see guys like that just representing their school, and I'm not sure how they do it, but I know how we do it at Baylor. But I mean, that sucks if they can't do that, you know, because they paved the way for some of those guys.
Terence, we are up against the top of the hour. Thanks for your time. You want to just one more time just tell us what this means to you as far as how long do you get to soak this in?
I guess you could, well, as a fan and as a former player, we could soak it in it's bragging rights for me when I hang around my friends. I'm going to brag every time, so I could do it for a lifetime. But just for the city of Waco, like I said, I'm from Waco, and for the city of Waco to have, you know, the women's team to win the national championship, a few of them, and us to win the national championship, now we can celebrate. But other than that, I hope the guys just soak it up a little bit, get back to work, and see if we can repeat.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Great to have you on, Terence. Thanks for your time. Enjoyed when you were at Lon Morris. I did games for Tyler, and I remember those classic games with Lon Morris, Coach Dotson, and Tyler Junior College as well. When we come back, a couple of notes. Tyler Pope got a tattoo on the top part of his thigh. That hurts. That looks like it. We'll come back with a video of it.
You won't see it unless unless he's wearing Daisy Dukes. But then again, a lot of the guys I see wearing shorts nowadays, you probably will see it. So there you go.
If he wears D.D. Richards type of shorts, you're going to be able to see it.
Some guys do.
That just looks painful. And of course, he needs to get a tan. We'll come back with that picture. Also, we'll hear from King Mcclure and much more. We have video of the students storming the field at McLean Stadium Monday night. That's amazing. And this is SicEm365 Radio. All right, let's say you have a muscle that feels like it hurts more than just something maybe that you tugged on it a little bit or you pulled it a little bit or it just, you've had a good workout or maybe you slipped. It hurts. You can't function. You can't sleep well. And the doctor said, okay, we need to figure out what else deep down inside, what's happening. I mentioned Tyler's thigh. Maybe you did that. A hamstring, a shoulder, your ankle, your knee, something that hurts more than it should. And so you need an MRI. And if your doctor suggests that's what you should get, you should then suggest back to them Ideal MRI. They'll know. Ideal MRI on the Central Texas marketplace with a state-of-the-art technology, their MRI machine. I got it for whatever reason when I walked in the door back in March to have an MRI on my left shoulder. I walked in the door, because you have health systems, and then you have this massive, this is the dude now, MRI, state-of-the-art technology with also IdealMRI.com. In the Central Texas marketplace, just off I-35 as you get off on the access road on Loop 340 and also Highway 6. Rob Maxey, Dr. Maxey, sent me a note later on that day, showed me the video, sent it to my doctor. It's unbelievable. And they'll save you hundreds of dollars, in fact, $497 or less every single time at IdealMRI.com.
At Baylor University, students can shine in their own way. Or should we say their own ways? Because there's no limit to the ways Baylor students make the world a brighter place. Whether they're leading a student organization or following a higher calling, getting advice from faculty, or taking part in world-class research, pursuing their dreams, or working toward their dream job, students find their place to shine at Baylor, where lights shine bright.
Car has the trucks, man. They have the one for you. Crew cab, short or long bed, silver, black or blue. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, he has the truck for you. Carr has the trucks, man. He has the truck you need. If you want the best truck, you want a GMC. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, they have the truck for you.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
If you or a loved one or friend has been arrested and you can't afford bail, trust Terry and Chase Chapman at Chapman's Bail Bonds, covering Waco and McLennan County for over 25 years. Chapman's can bail you out anywhere with experienced, knowledgeable local agents who are committed to serving you professionally, respectfully, and with the highest integrity. Chapman's understands your privacy is important. Your freedom can be secured fast when you use Chapman's Bail Bonds. Open 24 hours a day. Payment arrangements available. Call Chapman's Bail Bonds. When you need help, 254-754-1603. When you ring, we'll spring.
It was broad daylight. I stepped into a gas station for 5 minutes to grab a snack, and just like that, my car was broken into. They made out like a bandit. My laptop, my phone, everything. I called my agent to see what could be done, and he restored my faith in humanity. My claim was processed so quickly, and I was able to recover my losses.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Listen, in the past couple of years, we've had a lot of people moving in from out of state to Waco thanks to Chipper and JoJo. And while we welcome these new citizens, they unfortunately brought some of their bad habits with them. Hi, Jay here from Pickup Outfitters, and you know what I'm talking about. Naked trucks. You'd think everyone moved here from McNewtville. But we shouldn't judge them, we should help them. For example, when you see a recent transplant truck from a less civilized state like California, instead of saying, "Your truck is disgusting, your bed is exposed, get a bed cover on that truck, buddy," that's a bit harsh. Instead, try something like, in Texas, it's not polite to drive around with your bed exposed. Maybe you should check out the excellent selection of bed covers at Pickup Outfitters. And then if they refuse, you can say, "Well, I hear New Mexico's a nice state." Let's help our new neighbors and let them know that truck nudity is not okay. Let them know about Pickup Outfitters of Waco and send them to our website, createacommotion.com.
Welcome back to SicEm365 Radio.
3 left side, good. King Mcclure, there's his second made 3 of the afternoon.
The 4 o'clock hour is sponsored by Boozer's Jewelers, the wedding ring store, specializing in custom jewelry and repair, all in-house.
Now here's David Smoak, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoak.
Well, we couldn't get this guy yesterday because his phone, guys, was blowing up so much. I don't think he got as many text messages as maybe Scott Drew and Jerome Tang and those guys did, but he got a lot. King Mcclure, former Baylor guard and ESPN, a current ESPN analyst, joins us here on SicEm365 Radio. King, it feels to me, and I guess maybe because 2020 felt like such a long year, that you were at Baylor like 7 years ago, but it wasn't. You were with these guys and Davion Mitchell and Matthew. You know them all really well. You've practiced and played with them. So how much of that national championship on Monday night felt like yours as well?
Man, that's exactly how I felt. I mean, when that buzzer sounded, the first thing I did, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was down there crying, like for real, because that's how much it means to me. That's how much I sacrificed. I put into the program, and just to help a lot of these guys, and to kind of sort of help change the whole Baylor culture. Because I know when we did that my senior year, I kind of told Coach Drew, I want to help change this culture, and I want to. Once we do this, I think we can win a national championship. And myself and Jake Lindsey, we did that. We just kind of sort of changed a few things, the way the team was ran, and as far as like players wise, we just wanted to band together and really put others first. And we made sure that mentality was the number one thing. And seeing that what we did helped pave the way for these guys to win national championship. And I was full of emotions. Me and Tristan hugged each other. We was just crying, cause we put so much into this program, and it meant the world to us.
King, I mean, the fashion in which they did it, man. You know, all this talk about Baylor and Gonzaga, Gonzaga greatest team ever. I mean, from 2 minutes in, I mean, they were putting the whooping on them and never really relented. How surprised were you, or whatever you want to call it, with the way that game unfolded?
Man, I'm honestly not even surprised. The way that they guarded Houston, I saw it coming. I said the way that Baylor defended Houston, they're on the road. They're going to bring it the very next game. I always told people, I said on ESPN, I think I was on some show, I said that Baylor can guard Gonzaga, but Gonzaga can't guard Baylor. And if Drew Timme switches on the perimeter on any one of our guards, that is an easy cook session. He's going to get cooked every single time. And that's what happened. I don't know why Coach Pugh's a great coach, but I don't know why he thought that Timme could guard our guard. That's kind of disrespectful in my book. But Baylor just wanted it more. And there was a play, the first 2 minutes, first media timeout in the first media, Mark Battle got 3 offensive boards. I don't think he scored, but he got 3 offensive boards. And from that moment, I was like, uh-oh, Gonzaga might be in trouble. Then 11 minutes to go in the game, Flo Thamba dives on a loose ball. There's 3 Gonzaga players around. Flo dives head first. 3 Gonzaga players are just bending over trying to get the ball. Nobody dove one Gonzaga team, and there's 3 of them around there. Baylor did not get the ball, but it was a jump ball that went to Gonzaga. However, that moment right there, I knew that Baylor was going to win easily because I realized that Baylor wanted the game more than Gonzaga did, and they went out and showed it the rest of the way.
Was it grown men against guys who thought they were?
It's kind of funny that you phrased it like that, but yeah, in a sense, yeah, yeah. I mean, I just feel like that you can view it like that, or you can view, kind of sort of guys who play with a chip on their shoulder and guys who really just, I don't even know what you would call them. I guess guys play with a chip on their shoulder. You can go like that.
King, was part of like I mentioned this yesterday at the end of the show. Baylor plays in the Big 12, and Gonzaga does not. And look, they played some really good teams early in the year, West Virginia, Kansas among them. But in the meat of their schedule, they didn't have to get challenged 2 nights in a row ever. It didn't happen the whole season. And then when you come out and you have a tough game against UCLA, which was an all-time great battle, and then you have to turn around and face Baylor, who's used to like having all-time great battles, and then having another all-time great battle again. If you're not used to that, is that a factor?
Yeah, for sure. That plays a role into it. I kind of said that, or I was talking to somebody. Somebody said that us not playing Gonzaga early in the year really helped because Gonzaga had no idea what they were getting themselves into. They had no, like you can't replicate that in practice. You can't replicate Davion Mitchell fighting through a ball screen on a defensive end in practice. You can't replicate that great of help defense or everybody being able to slide over and take charges. You just don't know what you're getting yourself into. And like UCLA was a great offensive team, but they weren't a great defensive team, which is why the game was so high. So Gonzaga has not seen a defense like Baylor, which you probably won't ever see a defense like Baylor. Baylor's defense might have been top 5 all time ever in college basketball, but that right there, you just can't prepare for it. So I think, like night in, night out, Baylor's used to being tested, Gonzaga's not. But us not playing Gonzaga really benefited in our favor.
King, it felt like, I mean, outside of Matthew Meyer, he didn't, have but the one bucket, but he had a big bucket, right there around the free throw line at an opportune time. But it felt like everybody on this team played close to their best game. Like it was a highlight reel for everybody's role on the team. I mean, did you sense that at all? Just like everybody was ready to play at their highest level, basically, for that game.
Yeah, I mean, them dudes were ready. I mean, when you look at, Davion played amazing defensively, but he didn't really have an amazing game. He had a good game, but not an amazing game offensively. Jared Butler was solid. He did what Jared Butler normally supposed to. Maceo Teague was crazy. He went crazy. Adam Flagler had a solid game, too. Matt Myers had just a decent game. The person who I thought, the 3 people who I thought really really had their best game of the season, number one was Flo Thamba. Number two was Mark Vital. And number three was probably Jonathan Trauma-Twatwa. I think the interior of Baylor, I talked to Mark after the game. He said, bro, I just got tired of hearing Baylor's interior can't match up with Gonzaga's interior. Drew Timme this, Drew Timme that. The mustache is going to kill Baylor. He said he just got tired of hearing that. And I think all of our bigs thought the same thing, and they continuously heard it. And they went out there and was like, there's no way this kid's going to dominate us. And they proved everybody wrong.
I was fortunate enough to be courtside right behind one of the baskets. And one of the things I mentioned on Twitter early on was I don't think anyone can understand, and even on TV, the energy and physicality that Vital, Flo Thamba, and then also, of course, Jonathan Trauma-Twatwa did as well. It was so obvious. And I'm not an X's and O's guy, but you could tell that they were fully locked and loaded mentally, physically, and emotionally for that game.
Yeah. No, you could definitely tell. I mean, I was watching pretty intently, and you just saw, like, Drew Timme did not look like Drew Timme that he was looking all year. I mean, you could tell the way to get Drew Timme out of his rhythm is to press up and really get physical. And all our bigs really did that. And there's a few times where we had a few, lapses on defense. But for the most part, those guys were 110% locked in, and they were ready to play.
For Jonathan in particular, he had moments during the year, but you just said it was his best game of the year. How big is that going into next season of kind of a coming out party for him of, like, not only the Final Four, he started scoring some points, and his defense, which was already good, came up to great.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's going to be huge for him next year, just because when you look at Baylor and who they bring back, I mean, they're going to be good. I don't know if they'll be this good as we saw this year, but I think that'll be huge for Baylor because they need him for sure. They need him if they want to be really good and get to that level that they can get to. Maybe potentially a repeat or a top 5, top 10. They're going to need him.
What was the first thing that you had an opportunity to say to Scott Drew afterwards?
I haven't even talked to Coach Drew yet, which is crazy. I tried to when I went up there, he wasn't up there after the game, and I haven't texted him because I know his phone is blowing up. But I mean, I kind of just want to talk to him in person because there's a lot that I want to say to him. Just man to man, just wanted to congratulate him and just say thank you for everything. But when I see him, hopefully soon, we'll probably have time to sit down and talk.
You think you'll be able to hold back any tears?
Man, honestly, we'll both probably be crying, to be honest.
Yeah. Man, you've meant a lot to him, and he's meant a lot to you and so many others. This is a big boy win, not just because of how they pounded and dominated Gonzaga that was supposed to be so, once in a lifetime. King, is this one of those wins that allows you to boast your chest out, even though you were always proud of Baylor forever?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm always proud of Baylor, but now it's on a whole nother level. I don't think I'm gonna be one of those ignorant fans that they say. I'm wearing Baylor stuff for the next week. I'm not taking my stuff off. Matter of fact, I might wear it for the next month or two months. Yeah. I'm bragging, I'm boasting. Look, I go to the best school in the country. This is rare for people to be able to say that their school won national championship, and for me to say I play with those guys. Those are guys who actually learned some stuff from me, and I was able to be the senior captain. But a lot of those guys, and teach a lot of those guys. Oh yeah, I take 110% pride. I'm going to be that guy, Baylor Nation forever. I don't care where. Don't have me on any shows because I'm only talking about Baylor.
There you go.
Hey, King. One of the first things I thought of watching at the end of the game was when you and I were doing the podcast. And I asked you about, because we hadn't seen at that point, I hadn't seen Maceo Teague play. I hadn't seen Davion Mitchell. You'd practiced with those guys. You'd seen them, and you said, man, you said how athletic Davion was, and you said Maceo Teague can straight up shoot, and he's going to score. And I thought, all right. And the first I heard about it was from you, and I thought, oh well, yeah, it worked out. Worked out.
It definitely worked out. Those were two amazing transfers, two amazing players. to get for the Baylor program, and they played huge. And Davion Mitchell, just his ability to really step up his offensive game, I'm so proud of him because that man right there lived in the gym. Like when I say he lived in the gym, he lived in the gym. Him and Freddie Gillespie, and probably Mayfield might be third, but those two, Davion and Freddie, are the hardest workers I've ever seen in my life. Davion had no social life, just only wanted to play basketball and get better. And he cared about his girlfriend, basketball, and Call of Duty. Only things he wanted to do. And literally, he worked his tail off, and now everything he's getting, as far as some people saying he might be a lottery pick, he deserved it and he earned it. Not even deserved it, he earned it. And he went out there and did it. So I'm so proud of him.
Yeah, I saw him in another top 10 lottery mock today. The attention is growing, that's for sure. I don't know if you caught it. Did you see where Freddie signed that 10-day contract with Toronto?
Yeah, I did. I saw that 10-day contract. I'm so proud of Freddie. Freddie was down there past weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of great representation. Are you going to be able to make it what were your thoughts on just kind of the representation out there this weekend for Baylor? It sounded great on TV, looked great on TV, but also you making any plans to come back for that parade?
Oh, for sure. You already know I'm down there.
Can't wait to see you again, King. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate your time. It's been wonderful to have you on throughout the year. So he was in girlfriend, basketball, and Call of Duty at Davion Mitchell, and he plays defense with that kind of violence in a controlled way.
I got to last year. I went over there. I mean, it's obviously before COVID, but it was I think in December or so, right before they kind of went to Christmas break, and I was doing a one-on-one. I had 10 minutes with Davion Mitchell. And so while I was waiting, I was in the weight room with Charlie Melton. I said, hey, tell me something about Davion. And he said, something happened with Davion's car, like they had to jump his battery a couple times. And they said, look, all you need to do is go down to, the battery place, tell me you need a new battery, and then swap it out. It's not cheap, but it's one of the least expensive things you can get done with your car. It'll take 5 minutes. And he worked so hard in the gym that finally, he was trying to jump. He called Charlie Melton. He's like, hey, I'm trying to jump off this battery. It's not working. He's, well, after 20 times, Davion, it's cooked.
Yeah.
It's cooked. Yeah. So they had to, pick him up, and somebody had to get his girlfriend to come pick him up and take him to the store and get the battery. The other thing I said was there were times that they literally had to beg him, just go home.
Yeah.
Just please go home. It won't be bad.
And then you heard the story from one of the players, that Jonathan Chamachachua, maybe it was Jared Butler, talking about how on a Saturday morning, every morning at 7 o'clock, you could hear him outside dribbling and working on his post moves.
Well, Davion's not going to worry about car batteries for a while here pretty soon.
Yeah. So Tyler Pope, do you have this, Armstrong? I sent you a link. This looks to me to be very painful.
Does he have it? He's eyeing his own thigh right now, trying to figure out if he can get it on there himself.
I know. So Tyler Pope, who has followed the show, interacted with us quite a bit, put up on his feed the Baylor, of course, winning the national championship. Before here it is. That is his right thigh.
Look, I'm...
No, that's fine. That is his right thigh. First of all,
I was just making sure everything's spelled correctly. Yeah, that's good.
National champs. There's nothing that could you ever take away from that. It's not like the other part of it. Look at that. That is a big tattoo. And look at it. It's all red. So I said, he goes, oh, by the way, I do need to get a tan. I said, and some lotion.
Well, that's all the irritation.
Yeah.
Had to shave the hair there, too, to do the tattoo.
Well, they wrap plastic around it, too, don't they?
After you get it done,
After you get it done, yeah. I mean, I would never get a tattoo
that seemed like an ice bath would be the only thing you'd want to get into.
First, they'll wipe it down, and they'll shave that hair off in that area. And then, then you have the needle going in and out. So, that's going to be a painful and irritating place. But that's a nice, sharp-looking sailor bear. That'd be easy to get wrong or mess up, but that's actually pretty good.
Did a hell of a job.
And like I said, the national champs is spelled correctly because you just never know with some tattoo artist. But no, that's awesome.
It's like SicEm365 Radio.
That's why, again, I would not. I respect Tyler and his commitment because I would never get
I was going to take a picture.
I would never get a tattoo for any reason. Look, guys, if a meteor is coming to Earth and the only way we can not get hit is if I get a tattoo, it'd be like, sorry, guys, we're getting hit. I mean, there's not. I can't do it.
I'm not opposed to him. I just never have had an idea that I love so much to do it. But I can see why a longtime Baylor fan would be willing to go and get that Sailor Bear with the Natty Champs next to it because it has been a really long time coming for a lot of people out there. So hats off to you, Tyler. Not something that Paul would have done or I would have done, but hey, that's how you celebrated, and that's cool.
I saw one other tweet. I wish I could find the name, and I'm sorry if you're listening. Said I've decided to name my daughter Scott Drew. The interesting thing, she's 12.
Yeah. Well, that'll be tough for first year.
So he's changing his daughter's name to Scott Drew legally, and she's 12 years old. That's where, and it's fun, man. I mean, because just think about where we would be now, or you as a fan base. You're the ones if they had lost.
But I mean, not children, yes, but dogs and cats, and
call a dog Drew.
You know how many more Colts there are in Texas after Colt McCoy's run at UT? I mean, because of those fans, Baylor fans.
Did you know he was a roommate with?
Yeah, we knew. We all know.
Yeah.
You know, Sam Ellinger has a mom.
Yeah. And Charlie Brewer was never offered a scholarship by Texas.
I just heard that.
But like all those things, there's going to be some dogs. Like named Mark Vital, Jonathan Chamwachacho.
Hell yeah, there should be some dogs named after Mark Vital.
If you get a dog and name it Flo Thamba, bring him to the studio. I want you to name it.
I actually, speaking of Flo Thamba, I actually saw the artist who made the Mo Bamba song a couple years back that became real popular after the UT star. He actually just tweeted out Flo Thamba, like big eyes, because I mean, what are the odds that there was a Mo Bamba and now there's a Flo Thamba, and Flo Thamba's out there win a national title. So yeah, that was interesting. Sheck West, I think, is the artist's name.
Hey, how many there's going to be some Matthew Myers or a dog named Meyer.
Yeah,
especially one if you get a dog that's kind of that's super athletic but kind of reckless. That's what you need to do.
Poops all over the house.
I mean, just runs over. Sometimes we'll get excited and run around and knock over the furniture. Things like that.
Most young dogs do that.
Yeah. But they get a dog and name it. It's Meyer time.
Name a dog or someone Butler. I mean, there's all sorts of names. They're very unique.
Is a good name for a dog.
All right, that was fun. You could hear the pride in Terence Thomas. You could hear the pride in, obviously, as well, King Mcclure, who played there recently. Terence Thomas was on that 1 year with Bliss, and then his last year was with Scott Drew. He averaged 16 points and 7 rebounds in a game. And Tommy Bowman, one of the great names in Baylor history and Southwest Conference history, will join us at the bottom of the hour at 4:30. So, man, it's been fun, isn't it? It's been fun to kind of go through and reminisce. We've had, of course, Jack Robinson, who played in the late 40s, back when they had their first ever Final Four and championship game appearance. So now, back to your text. We got a break here, then come back, or you want to go? Let's go ahead and finish this out.
I will make sure we get a little early. We can get a little early, so we.
All right. So here's what we have. Some more of those text messages from you, Eric. By the way, one of my favorite reoccurring observations about our team has been about how fast, strong, and athletic we look. Stephen A. said we look like we worked out with the football team. Also, we all remember Barkley talking about how our guys know where the weight room is at Baylor. We're not only better than the Zags, we beat them down. Timmy wilted, literally got knocked in the mouth. Kispert, Timmy were all on the sidelines taking pills and injury timeouts. Our team made quite a national impression as the absolute best and toughest team. So much for scrubby little Baylor. Eric in Lubbock. Eric, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. There's a lot of you who have texted as well, Scotty B. As for me, I just can't get the grin off my face at the same time. I'm looking forward to the next year for men's basketball. All the spring sports are going on right now. Scotty is always going to mention spring sports because he is so passionate about tennis as well. Here's from 512. I'm still on cloud 9 about the championship, just ready for the movie now. That's from Austin. Thank you for that as well. 254-339-1122 are the text line numbers and much more. Football, by the way, the access next time, Craig, is Friday or Saturday?
I think it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Okay. We'll be able to get back to the football practices. And Dave Aranda, of course, and his family were up there. How about this? Can you imagine the guy that has to worry about tickets for the alums and boosters and those in the athletic department or those on campus or the upper level of people in Waco that feel like because they've contributed, they deserve or earned the right to go to the game? You know, Chip and Joanna, they had RG3 in the suite with his kids. You know, you don't have an unlimited number, that especially this year. You have to, there's going to have some people who are used to getting everything they ever want, even if they write a check for $10 or $20 or $100,000. You have to also understand there's others that also write checks as well. You wonder how all that worked out. I hope everybody was patient with that. I really do. I really, really do. And also remember what we did when we had Dick Vitale on May 7th. Scott Drew will introduce Dick Vitale at his gala, at the Dick Vitale Gala, and the next year Scott Drew will be honored as a member of that gala as well. So that's pretty cool coming off what they just did. Anything else here in this segment before break? Come back with Tommy Bowman?
No, we're taking a break.
Yeah, we'll come back a little bit later on with some baseball news. Also, the Tiger Woods story about what caused his wreck, and it was going twice as fast as you're supposed to based on what is this recommended speed on that street.
The speed limit. Limit, not recommended. Limit.
SicEm365 Radio. If you want to become the high-performance man that you think you should be, need to be, used to be, PettyClinicLowT.com can help you out. Dr. Kent Petty can find out what your testosterone levels are, and if they're too low, he can put you in a program to increase your testosterone levels to help you become that high-performance man that you want to be, that maybe you used to be, or that you just need to be. This could include how focused you are, the energy, are you lethargic, and it just kind of seems like things are changing. What happens when you get older? A lot of things change. Around your belt line, gravity takes over. And inside your body, testosterone can also drop. 1 out of every 3 men have symptomatic issues of low testosterone. Could be your sleeping habits, could be your energy, could be ED, could be sex drive, all of the above, or some of that. Go to PettyClinicLowT.com. Go online. Contact them. Tell them you heard it from Smokey, SicEm365 Radio, and that you'd like to go and get blood work. He will set you up with an appointment, Dr. Petty, and then get your lab work, and then check your levels. And if it's too low, by just a little bit or a lot, he'll put you in a program to increase your testosterone levels so you can become the high-performance man you want to be at PettyClinicLowT.com.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jewelry, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, rye, brimstone, and the all-new lineage in stock. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.
It's a name and a memory that called us back. It's a belief and a labor that will carry us forward. It's a time and experience that will make you return. The new Bear Ridge Golf Club, a space revitalized, a course restored, a new experience. For a tee time today, call the Pro Shop at 254-848-7800. Go to BearRidgeWaco.com, just south of Waco on Highway 84. Come join us at Bear Ridge Golf Club.
At Marco's Pizza, get craveable pizza made the Italian way with dough made from scratch, an original sauce recipe, 3 fresh signature cheeses, and premium toppings you love, served hot and safe. Right now, you can get unlimited medium one-topping pizzas for just $6.99 each. Why stop at just one? Order with your app or at marcos.com for curbside, carryout, or delivery today. Marco's, pizza lovers get it.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Welcome back to SicEm365 Radio.
This segment on Baylor Athletics on SicEm365 Radio is brought to you by Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac, located at the Imperial Drive exit off Loop 340 in Waco. Proud supporters of all Baylor Athletics.
Here we go, this SicEm365 Radio. We've heard from Terence Thomas, who played back in the early parts of the 2000s, King Mcclure recently. And, of course, we've listened and heard from a lot of the great names in Baylor history. And how about this one? Tommy Bowman, Southwest Conference Hall of Fame, former Baylor forward, played from 1967 to 1970. And I know he has to be as thrilled as anybody is as well. And he joins us on SicEm365 Radio, Paul Craig and David Smoak. Tommy, it was great to talk to you a little bit earlier today. Have you come down at all from cloud whatever number it might be?
I'm down, not all the way down, but I'm down.
What did that moment when you realized they were going to take care of Gonzaga, which might have been early in the game, but when it became pretty official, what did that mean to you?
Well, I have to tell you, David, I'm not articulate enough to explain how I felt, because my association with Baylor goes all the way back to 1966, and we never even won a Southwest Conference championship. And to imagine that the Baylor Bears was on the edge of winning a national championship, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. And I still have to pinch myself to realize that this is a reality. This is one of the... And the thing about it, David, is that the coaches and the players, they are representing Baylor at such a high level. High level.
Tommy...
So it's just...
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
You were a pioneer here at Baylor. You were the first the scholarship basketball player recruited. What was that time like for you? And does the national championship feel like a payoff for what I'm sure was a difficult time in the 60s, being in the position you were in?
Well, I have to tell you, David, it was not really that difficult for me, because at the time, Baylor was a very small university. You know, we're talking about 6,500 students, which is relatively small. And I stayed pretty much within the confines of the basketball team. And I never had any issues there. I had some problems other places. But given the environment at that time, David, and where we are now, it's unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable, because Baylor's never been known to be, a basketball school, and to come from where we were in the 60s to being the national champs. I'm not talking about just of the Big 12. I'm talking about national champs. I'm speechless, and I guess you can tell that.
I love it.
Yeah, Tommy, Craig here. What do you remember about your initial impressions of Scott Drew. Like, what were your thoughts when you first heard about him, and then I guess got to know him a little bit? What were your thoughts initially? And obviously, everybody's just incredibly proud for him being able to pull off this feat.
Well, I was on the Baylor Board of Regents at the time Scott was hired. And it just so happened I was on the athletic committee, so I was one of those that was tasked with the job of interviewing and deciding, who we were going to select for our next basketball coach. And Scott was a very humble individual. Scott was a very godly young man at that time, and he still is. And that's what impressed me most about him. I didn't know anything about his background, and certainly I didn't know that he came from a basketball family. But he told me, and I've shared this before, he told me that he felt like it was a calling from God for him to be the next basketball coach at Baylor. And given my background and my values, my faith values, that made a big impact on me.
Didn't you just say, and you have said before, that you going to Baylor was also a calling from God?
I believe so. I believe it was ordained, David. I mean, because you heard my story, haven't you?
Yes, sir. Well, Carol Dawson had wasn't it a gasoline, back in the days of an old gas station attendant?
A full-service Texaco station in Athens, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
He pulled in he was on his way to Alba. I don't know if you know what Alba is. He went to consult. He was on his way to Alba. He pulled into a Texaco service station there in Athens. There was an attendant there by the name of Granville Creighton. Of course, Athens' population at that time was less than 10,000 people. So everybody knew everybody. He pulled into the station, and Mr. Granville saw this Baylor sticker on his vehicle and asked him if he worked at Baylor. And he told him he was a basketball coach there. And so Mr. Granville proceeded to go in and tell him, says, well, we got the best basketball player in the state of Texas right here in Athens, obviously referring to me. So Dawson, part of his responsibility as assistant coach at Baylor was to recruit. So he said he started looking through all his paper and literature to see if there was anything about a guy named Tommy Bowman. He said he looked and looked and looked, and he saw nothing about anybody named Tommy Bowman. He never heard of him. And here's this gentleman telling him that the best player in the state of Texas was in Athens. So he said, well, where does he live? Mr. Granville told him where we live, where I live with my parents. So he drove over to visit me. Now, how is that? Do you think that's something that God will direct? I mean, you never heard of me? Just some station attendant tell you about me, and then he drives over to my house. He comes to my house, and my mom is there on the porch shelling peas, which was not unusual. She shelled black-eyed peas, green peas. And so Dawson goes and starts helping her shell peas. Now, that's not a typical sight in Athens, Texas back in 1960s, brother. A white guy sitting on the porch with a black woman shelling peas. So anyway, and finally I shows up at the house, and I don't remember where I was coming from. And anyway, long story short, he had already sold my mama, and my mama pretty much insisted that I was going to Baylor. I mean, Baylor's a Baptist school, and, my expectation was to maybe go to Henderson County Junior College, not as a basketball player, but just as a student. And all of a sudden, I've got interest in me and my basketball ability from Baylor University. So I got no idea, and there's no doubt in my mind, David, that, I mean, it was God ordained all the way. And even after I got there, see, I was the first black to come to Baylor to be shown around as a student athlete. The guy that showed me around when I showed up, they had never had much exposure to any black. So they weren't sure what to do either. But it worked like a charm. So I know that God had his hand on the whole process, even up to this point. It's been God ordained because everything went too smooth, went too well. And David, I was not such a good basketball player. I don't think so this day because I played with guys at the predominantly black school that I came out of. I played with guys that were so much better than me, and they ended up going to the brickyard in Athens and working for a living. So that's why I get excited when I start talking about how good God has been to me. And I know you guys don't want me to get on my soapbox and start preaching to you.
Well, no, it's great to hear you, man. Here's the story.
That's an incredible story. He could have stopped at any other convenience back then, as you mentioned, full-service gasoline. What if he didn't stop? You may have ended up at somewhere else. But like you said, it was ordained, preordained.
It was ordained. There's no doubt in my mind about it. It was ordained. It was ordained. And I've been blessed. I've been blessed through, God has blessed me through my association with Baylor University to the point that you would not believe. And I've shared this before. I've had 2 jobs in my working life since I graduated from Baylor. The first one was at Central Freight Line, which was an LTL carrier. At the time, it was an intrastate carrier. I went to work at Central in November of 1971. And I never even filled out an application. You know why? Because of my association with Baylor and the relationships that I had developed. I worked out there for 32 years. I was off from October of 2003 until May of 2004. I go to work for Lipset. I think y'all might be office right across the street from Lipset, don't you?
Yep.
I go to work for Lipset in May 1st, in 2004. You know what? I've yet to fill out an application there. So I've worked for 49 years. I've not filled out an application. Now, if you think that's not God blessing me through my association with Baylor University, you are absolutely wrong.
Yep.
Tommy, this is Paul. We had Terence Thomas on about an hour ago, and he wanted us to convey, to say hello to you. He said that you guys went to church together, and he said, please tell Brother Bowman hello, and that I love him, and that he appreciated your whole friendship throughout his time here.
Well, Clarence was he was. I'm a member at Untitled Chapter Missionary Baptist Church in Waco, where Dr. Jimmy Hunter's our pastor, and he was Mr. Thomas, Brother Thomas he was there for a while. What's he doing these days?
He's getting into coaching.
Yeah, he's exactly right. He talked about how he was he's actually in the early parts of getting into coaching basketball.
Yeah, people often ask me why I didn't get into coaching. Well, I was just not led to do that. I don't think I would have made a very good coach. So I never did do that. Matter of fact, I've got a son, Tommy, the second, which lives in Euless, and I tried coaching him at home with, basketball, and he didn't think I knew what I was talking about. So I figured if I couldn't coach my son, I surely couldn't coach anybody else.
Yeah, that's probably right. It's probably right.
We have Adam Flagler coming up here momentarily, but right now the great Tommy Bowman on SicEm365 Radio.
Yeah, Tommy, I just wondered what you thought this championship had, like the impact that it will have on the city of Waco, and just the excitement that it's bringing, but just, the way Waco's changed over the years. But what do you think this means not only to Baylor University, but for everybody else in town?
I think it's going to put Waco somewhat in the spotlight because obviously it's going to mean a lot to basketball and Coach Drew. I hope Drew doesn't get so popular that he wants to leave us. But I think it's going to make a big difference with the population in Waco. And I think it's going to endear the people to Baylor University even more so, because I've talked to so many people that have just really been excited about the fact that the men's basketball team at Baylor University here in the city of Waco are now national champs. So we'll have at least 1 year we can brag about that. And if these guys come back that's playing on the team now, we might be able to brag about it even next year, brother.
Tommy, God, it's great to hear you. Great to talk to you this morning. Great to hear from you this afternoon. We will stay in touch. I'm going to share Terrence's number with you, if that's okay. I'll get that to you sometime here pretty soon, okay?
Yeah, do that.
I will.
I'd love for you to do that.
Tommy Bowman, barrier breaker, hell of a player at Baylor, with us on SicEm365 Radio. Tommy, thanks for your time. Great to hear from you. And coming up next, from Tommy Bowman, from 67 to 1970, the current national championship guard, Adam Flagler, and this is SicEm365 Radio. Throughout this week and all the way through Saturday, regular lump crab meat, $13.50 a pound. Regular snack sticks, jalapeno cheddar snack sticks, $5.99 or $6.99 a pound. Fresh chicken tenders for $2.50 a pound. A 10-pound case of frozen hamburger patties for a big get-together, $35.90 plus tri-tip, $4.50 a pound, and choice beef fillets, $15.99 a pound. And yes, you know that you can also order up until 6 o'clock tonight by calling Waco Custom Marketplace or dropping by 425 Lake Air Drive and get 30-pound sacks of live crawfish for $4.25 a pound. Then you could pick it up after 2 on Friday or anytime they're open on Saturday. Waco Custom Marketplace. Brian Bauer lit up a big old cigar late Monday night. My father, for his father's memories of how much he loved Baylor, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
The Jeep Celebration event at Allen Samuels has special pricing on the new 2021 Jeep Renegade Latitude with total values up to $5,250 or 0% for 84 months. Or a special deal on a new 2021 Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid Limited with total values of $7,000 or 0% for 72 months. It's the Jeep Celebration event at Allen Samuels, the best place to find your new vehicle. Located at 201 West Loop 340 in Waco.
Come by. Let's be friends.
See dealer for details. All offers have credit requirements.
Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness was built to help give you a chance to enjoy elite tennis facilities and also remain fit or reshape your body. Now Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has gone through its own physical changes. There are 7 large flat screens stretched across the main and improved weight room with Wi-Fi available and their own app to enjoy news, business, weather, or sports channels. The beautiful sound of active treadmills and elliptical machines, group exercise classes throughout each day, a new ballet bar for bar classes, a new look lounge and bar with beer and wine with more large flat screens available. Touchless water fountains outside each spacious men's and women's locker rooms, showers, sauna, and whirlpool. Upgraded PA system throughout the world-class tennis courts and lessons for adults and juniors. I promise you'll look and feel better. You just need to walk through the front door. Also, Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness with personal trainers Christy London and Randall Corley. 40-plus group exercise classes, including twice-a-week boot camp. So start today, not tomorrow, at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lake Shore Drive in Waco.
In the market for a quality metal building? Since 1943, Pioneer Steel and Pipe has helped Central Texas residential and commercial customers with metal building design, panel options, building components, and trim options. Pioneer Steel and Pipe's residential line is energy efficient, offers low maintenance, reduces insurance payments, is impact resistant, and carries up to a 45-year limited warranty. In addition, they can also help you find a metal building contractor for your project. Pioneer Steel and Pipe with locations in Waco and Bryan and at pioneersboys.com.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. And that's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. So if you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at idealmri.com or call 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Don Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
At Baylor University, students find their place to shine. They're faithful friends and inspirational leaders. They're championship teammates and independent thinkers. They're on the cutting edge of high tech and in the halls of history. If you want to make the world a brighter place, you can. And if you want to shine in your own way, you can. The spark you need is already inside you. Bring it to Baylor, where lights shine bright.
Welcome back to SicEm365 Radio. Are you a SicEm365 superfan? Then try out our premium subscriptions at SicEm365.com.
We have heard from King Mcclure, who knows a lot of the guys on the team that just won the national title. Tommy Bowman played in the 60s and early 70s, and Terence Thomas, who was on the first Scott Drew team in 2003. And how about this as a special moment for us on SicEm365 Radio? National championship guard Adam Flagler, who was absolutely nails during the tournament and throughout the year on SicEm365 Radio. Adam, have you come down from the clouds yet? What's it like a couple of days later?
Still surreal. I don't think I'll ever come down until probably 2 weeks from now. I'm just so glad we're able to all enjoy it together and just enjoy this experience with brothers. So it's been great.
Your role increased throughout the year, and I know that you went on like a little cold streak in the year shooting-wise, but your teammates kind of rallied around you. What was that like to get you to the point of where you weren't shooting well, and then all of a sudden you just caught fire and had confidence just shooting out of your ears?
My teammates throughout the whole year have always encouraged me and believed in me and just told me to stay aggressive. And we've all went through ups and downs with the season and just not playing the way we wanted to. But the thing that cures all is belief in God, hard work, and my teammates just being there for me. So I knew that if I continue with the process, if I continued and just took every day and just try to get better, I knew I could eventually come back to where I wanted to be.
Adam, what's it like to be outside the bubble?
I'm sitting outside every week.
Man.
Enjoying some sunshine, huh?
Right.
What was that experience like? I mean, we heard, various guys say that, yeah, it was tough, but that they wouldn't have traded the experiences. I mean, Mac Rhodes said that just yesterday. Wouldn't trade the experiences that everybody had inside there. How much of a bonding time was that for you guys? And do you think it in any way led to what happened on Monday night?
Definitely. Some say it was negative, not being outside the bubble or being able to see other people. But I think we saw it as a positive, just being able to spend time with each other. There were no distractions. So we spent literally 24 hours every day spending time with each other, just enjoying each other. And it led to that performance that we definitely had on Monday.
Adam, I like to look at body language and also people's expressions. And it's not that you don't have some, but I can't tell if you're up or down. Is that part of your personality that no matter what, and it's Jared Butler's kind of like that, and there's other guys on the team that are like that. Does that make it easier to handle too much or the exhilaration but not get too high, or disappointment and not get too low?
Definitely. I think that's a lot of our personalities, just to try to stay even keel. And we all call ourselves silent assassins. We rarely show emotion, and I think, in my opinion, it makes more of an impact when you don't have to scream, you don't have to boast, but you just go out there and handle your business.
Do you think in the long run, King mentioned this to us earlier, that you guys not getting to play Gonzaga in December maybe helped in that they weren't ready for what you guys were about to throw at them?
I don't know for sure, to be honest. We were excited, obviously, to play them at the beginning of the season, but with everything going on, it happened. But it definitely played a part, and we were excited. We continue to get better and better as the season went on. They did as well. But we just had that mentality that we were going to go out there. We felt like we were the underdogs, felt like everybody was against us. And we've been in that bubble all together this whole time. So it just created a bond that couldn't be broken. And we just wanted to show that we were the best team out there at that time.
Well, you made it very clear very quickly in front of the entire country and then just dominated throughout that game. Adam, when did you guys have an idea that maybe it could go that way? I mean, I know that y'all were confident that you were the best team in the country all year long, but like leading into that game, when did you kind of get the sense of like, we are going to win this game?
I think it started before we even played our first March Madness game. We were able to practice, and we had I would say 5 or 6 days to be able to practice before we actually played. We came off of COVID and everything, so it was great being able to practice and compete at a high level again. And we knew that we were bringing the right type of energy into the tournament. And once we started playing, we knew that we could get going and going. And once we came out that first half, confident, strong, dominant, we knew that we had a really good chance to win, and we just had to play like that 40 minutes.
There are going to be guys that leave because that's the way it is. The clock ticks, the calendar changes, and guys leave because of the opportunities that they have and have earned as well. Have you learned the culture enough to where you want that team now? You want to be able to carry that team along with some of the other guys that are back?
Definitely. I've been able to learn, pick Jared, Davion, and Mitchell, pick Mark, their brains and everything. Just talk about how it may be. We didn't talk about it a lot, obviously, because we were so locked in about what we wanted to accomplish. But it's just a blessing just to see the work that they put in and just the opportunities that they're getting now. It's just a blessing, and I just want to continue to put God first, put my teammates first, and then myself last, and everything to take care of the rest.
Did you ever have a moment like, when you made the shot before halftime, I guess this was against Wisconsin at the buzzer, and you had that, and you had several March Madness moments that'll be on highlights forever that you dream of when you're a little kid playing basketball. Did you ever have that moment where you think, oh my gosh, I just had a moment like that?
Literally, this is the first time I'm actually thinking about it. Like, I've dreamed my whole life. I remember growing up, it was spring break every time around when March Madness and the Final Four and everything was going on. So I would go out of the state to a beach or whatever, and I would watch the game every night on that Monday night with my best friends. So just being able to play in those games is so surreal to me. I'm so blessed the fact that I was able to impact the game and just bring positive energy and just be a national champion is crazy.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, transferring in a couple years ago, having to sit out. I mean, just the journey that you've been on. I mean, it's got to be surreal, and I'm having hard times finding words for what was probably going on with you. So I can only imagine how you feel. But I mean, just does it feel like you were kind of guided along the way, and everything's worked out I guess the best way it could possibly have worked out for you?
Definitely, God has a master plan, and I don't think there's no way possible without him that I would be in this position. Coming from Duluth and not being recruited the way I wanted to, and being able to be blessed with that opportunity at Presbyterian and taking the advantage of it the most I could, and it leading to here is just crazy. It's a crazy story, and I'm just blessed to be a part of something so special here.
I don't know what was said prior to the tip-off because you guys go back in, then there's back out, there's delays. Of course, there's the national anthem, and then there's some things in between. There seemed to be like every single one of you were like, I don't want to use this word in a negative way, but like rabid dogs. And I mean that I mean that in a positive way. Like every single player seemed to be at the highest emotional peak, but in control, not out of control. What was something said, or was it just the constant buildup of who you were playing and how much you'd heard about Gonzaga?
That's surprising that you can recognize that. But, something was said. Coach Drew does an amazing job of just motivating us. And even when we don't need a lot of motivation, he still finds a way to allow us to tap into that next level. And he said something about one of the players from Gonzaga being ultra confident and kind of talking trash, and we took that offensive, and we believed that we were the best team in the country, and we wanted to show that. And so when a starting five comes out like that, us 3 or 4, whoever coming off the bench, we always tell each other, like, we got to keep this going. We got to keep this going. We got to provide that energy. So it was a collective group effort, and we were just excited to be out there. It was a real experience.
Has Flo Thamba ever run that far and fast? Ever? And have you seen him? I mean, that was his night.
Yeah, he's run that far and fast before. He wanted to put on the boosters for you guys that day.
Yeah, he did. There's
Yeah,
no question
he
about
had
it.
a hell of a game.
Adam Flagler, Baylor guard, with us on SicEm365 Radio.
Yeah, I know you got to go soon, but just how much have you learned from, I guess kind of a two-part question here, how much have you learned from your fellow teammates over the course of, the last year or so? We've heard tales of just what a gym junkie Davion Mitchell and others are. How much does that kind of blend over to you? And to see Scott Drew, and be a part of him winning a national title and this coaching staff, can you also speak on just how much they've meant to you guys?
It's meant everything. The upperclassmen, you could say, just leading by example. The hard work that Davion, Mitchell, Jared, all of them put in. And just for me to be in that gym with them, working out late nights, early mornings, it definitely will allow me to just carry over to that next season and help with the freshmen and anybody else coming in to just lead by example and compete at a high level. That's what they always did. Coach Drew is an ultimate competitor, and he prided on never, ever taking a day off. So as long as we keep those same approaches, I think we'll be fine next year.
My last question to you is that you have, without question, along with everybody else it seems like that has ever been interviewed, mentioned your faith. And there's some places that's uncomfortable. There's some places where people won't let you do that. How much more special is it you're allowed to and be able to say exactly what your faith means to you?
It's so special. It's literally the reason I came to Baylor. That's the first thing Coach Jake just pitched to me. And he didn't have to do that. He didn't really have to try that hard to pitch. Once he said that we are a Christian community, we are a Christian school, and we pride ourselves on our community and just bringing each other up and getting closer to God, I knew immediately this is where I wanted to be, because I knew that basketball and school would take care of itself, but I wanted to grow as a young man. I've been able to do that. So it's just been a blessing to be here, to have brothers like Jared and Jackson Moffett and others on the team that I can turn to and talk about my faith openly and not feel weirded out because some people obviously don't believe in Christ. It's just amazing, and it just makes this whole experience this year so much better.
Thank you, Adam. It was a joy to watch you play. I know there's that word, right? Joy?
National champion,
National
Adam
champion, yeah. Thank you so much. Enjoy it. Soak it in. I know you guys will not allow things to slack because the culture is there, no question about it.
And enjoy some freedom outside.
Yeah,
to
breathe,
be able to go do what you want to do.
Go smell the flowers and just get some sun. Yeah. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate your time. We appreciate you a lot.
Thank you, guys. It feels so good outside.
I bet, man.
I bet, man. We all kind of had some, and I know we got to go from John Machado, but we at times have had to kind of be stuck, at the beginning a year ago at this time, whatever. But you could still kind of walk outside and go places. You could still feel the sun. I mean, that was a rarity. Very rarely did they get to do that. And I kind of experienced what their bubble was like. They got to walk onto a bus straight to where they played.
Yeah.
Or practiced.
And they got to
everything
play
inside.
Kickball outside a couple times, but really.
Yeah, that one game, yeah.
They kept them there. Yeah, you go, look, and Smokey, I'm sure I know you well enough to know that, having to do the show in a hotel room every day, probably made you a little stir crazy.
And one of the things that helped is when I looked at the room, because the NCAA made that available. There's 2 or 3 hotels, and I looked at it. And it's a Spring Hill Suites, and it's got kind of a separate office area. It wasn't like you walked in, bathroom door, boom, you hit the bed. It was a nice place, and it was very inexpensive because the NCAA's rate was very, very affordable. And you're right. Yes, being able to kind of every once in a while get up and just go walk out and look out the window or go outside, wasn't very far, was fantastic for me. All right, when we come back, John Machado covers the Cowboys for theathletic.com. How about Tommy Bowman, Terence Thomas, King Mcclure, and Adam Flagler for the National Championship Basketball Program, Baylor, SicEm365 Radio.
Richard Carr, Buick GMC Cadillac. They have great deals going on now at Richard Carr, but then again, I talk to you guys about them pretty much every day, and when do they not have great deals going on at Richard Carr? Well, right now it's the 22-year anniversary sales event. It's continuing on at Richard Carr Motors with big anniversary savings on all new or pre-owned cars and trucks on the lot. 3 big rows of first-class seating, power, technology, safety, and a superior ride make the Buick Enclave second to none. And during the Richard Carr Anniversary Sales Event, you can save $8,500 on Buick Enclaves. There's also the power and luxury combined in the GMC Sierra truck that is second to none. You can save $8,000 on a 2021 GMC Sierra, save $7,000 off a 2021 GMC Acadia, or save $6,750 off a GMC Terrain. Richard Carr Motors is your local family dealer and proud Baylor Bears. They want to earn your business with great prices, free oil changes with a new purchase, and priority warranty service on all vehicles. So come by their clean and disinfected showroom to take a test drive, or let them bring the test drive to you. Again, thousands off on Sierras, Acadias from the GMC lines, and Terrains, also Buicks, everything on the lot. Go and take advantage of it right now, whether used or new. It's the big 22-year anniversary sales event going on now at Richard Carr.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible and rewarding challenge. Hi, everyone. This is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like mortgage lending, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Do you or your kids get nervous about going to the dentist? Stonewood Dental, Dr. Steve Childress, he can help.
I've spent a career taking care of patients who as children had bad experiences, and now they're adults that hate going to the dentist. If I get a kid at 3 years old and they come every 6 months and it's a happy experience, it's normal for them. Now they have an accident at 6 or 7 or 8 at school. Now they have a broken tooth or a trauma, and they have to come here. They're used to lights, they're used to water in their mouth, they're used to experience, they already trust us. It's amazing what we can do with that kid without it being a negative thing. But if I see a 6 or 7 or 8 year old that's never been to the dentist, and now they have a trauma or an unfortunate unexpected toothache, it's harder to do that for that kid and it not be somewhat of a negative experience. So bottom line is I try to teach kids and adults and teenagers and everybody the way I'd want my family treated, which is where it's a necessary part of life. You just take care of it. It doesn't have to be that big a deal.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com.
Born in Waco, Brotherwell Brewing exists to serve the Central Texas community with locally crafted beer of the highest quality. They want to bring Central Texas closer to the brewing experience so everyone can enjoy well-made beer as much as they do. For 2.5 years, they've been bringing high-quality beer to Central Texas at their location on Bridge Street in East Waco. Brotherwell Brewing believes in community and bringing people together to enjoy products made in their community. So for your game day, whether it's a tailgate or at home, stop by Brotherwell Brewing for high-quality craft beer made right here in Central Texas, 400 East Bridge Street, and check them out online at brotherwell.com.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of service in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, your hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Come see us at the new Baylor Scott and White Ted and Sue Getterman Sports and Orthopedic Center. Trusted doctors at Baylor Trust, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Welcome back to SicEm365 Radio. It's time for our weekly segment with John Machota of The Athletic, brought to you by Pioneer Steel and Pipe, where customer service is their main focus, and best in metal, steel, and pipe for large or small projects, with 2 locations in Waco and Bryan. Family owned and operated since 1943.
And Prescott on the keeper, walks in, touchdown, Dallas.
The 5 o'clock hour is sponsored by Edward Jones Investments, with financial advisor Brad Wilson. Investing his time and experience back to you and your money during today's changing times. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Now here's David Smoak, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoak.
Here we go, football. The NFL draft is what, Paul, in about, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Coming up around the corner. There's still some pro days and stuff like that in Cleveland. Absolutely. Yeah. We're now joined by John Machota, Paul Catalina, Craig Smoak, David Smoak, Armstrong Sim, SicEm365 Radio. Here's what I love about Mike McCarthy. Jason Garrett was never really good at this job. He is going to make sure there is competition, and if you don't start with competition at punter, where can you start?
Yeah, they're really sending a message to the rest of the team with the way they've filled up that special teams roster. This is going to be a really talented special teams unit. I can't say. I mean, most of the time when I've covered this team, it's been Chris Jones, and I think Chris Jones has been really solid as their punter. But I don't think anybody was I don't think he was like a Pro Bowler or a Pro Bowl snub, I should say. So it is interesting. I kind of thought they were just good with Hunter Nicewinder, and that was he pretty much won the job last year, and maybe that was the case until Anger becomes available, which maybe they didn't think was going to happen. Houston let him go last month, and so he's got a big leg. He has some of the longest punts. I think his long last year was 67, 68 yards, and he's had several in the 70-yard range as well. So it sounds like he's got a really big leg, and maybe they'll find a way to use him, maybe even on kickoffs, things like that too. I don't know. It kind of surprised me. I thought they were pretty much set on special teams, but hey, we know they weren't going to make any big moves in free agency, so this is what we're left to talk about.
Well, one of those moves, could that be KJ Wright?
I don't see that happening. I've seen some reports out there that he is looking for a little bit more stability than the 1-year deals the Cowboys are throwing out there to everybody, and that's the thing. You see some of these deals that the Cowboys have signed players to. I think the most notable is pretty safe to say it's Keanu O'Neal. Like they're all pretty much 1-year deals. And so while it fills holes for, this year's roster, or at least on paper, there's nothing they've done in free agency that would, if you went back to before free agency started and what you thought their biggest needs would have been in the draft then are still their biggest needs. They're not adding some tight end right now, Jeremy Sprinkle, and all of a sudden that means that they're out on Kyle Pitts if he falls to 10. That's not changing anything. There's nothing they've done in free agency that makes me think that they've filled any hole that they will no longer draft now.
If there was a dream pick for Cowboys fans based on what you get on Twitter and what you hear and whatnot, would Kyle Pitts be like the dream scenario pick for them, or would it be somebody else?
That's a great question, because for myself, I would think that it would be, but there's a lot of Cowboys fans out there that do not want to see them do that again just because of how bad their defense is. And when I say do that again, I mean, many of us thought they were going to go defense last year, and then they took CeeDee Lamb. And, hey, it proved to be a great pick. CeeDee Lamb's going to be, I think, one of the best wide receivers in the league in not too long from now. And so, I think Kyle Pitts has a chance to be just as dynamic. The thing is, I think that a lot of Cowboys fans want them to address the defense so badly that if I was to do a poll right now, I feel like Patrick Surtain, the corner from Alabama, would be the favorite that most fans would want. Now, when I say most fans, I mean it by a slight majority. It would probably be maybe 52% or something like that. But certainly Kyle Pitts would probably be next. And then the other ones would be if either of those offensive tackles, Rashawn Slater from Northwestern or Penei Sewell from Oregon, if either one of them were to fall there to 10, I think that it's those four right there that I would say the majority of Cowboys fans are in on. But it's certainly not just this, unanimous, if Kyle Pitts is there, take him. There's a lot of fans I've seen that are just kind of don't we have enough weapons on offense? But my thing is with that is look at the track record that Jerry Jones has had as owner. When has he really spent big early in a draft on a defensive player that was like a cornerstone player. I mean, there's like DeMarcus Wares, and they tried to do it with Morris Claiborne, but like he's built a lot of these teams even in the 90s based around offense. So if Kyle Pitts is there, I would find a hard time that they're going to pass on him.
He loves toys.
Right.
He loves the glitz and glamour, and that's what Pitts would be. Now, John, you put a list out a couple hours ago about the Cowboys offseason, those who departed, some retired, some are gone for free agency, whatever, or just cut or released or not renewed. And then the signings as well. Obviously, the Dak Prescott signing overshadows anything else. But of the other ones of players who are come in, signed as free agents, or those who they extended, which one is next in line most important?
I think it's got to be Keanu Neal. I just think of what he can bring in a variety of ways, and then just the fact that you're having a new defensive coordinator who was not only Keanu Neal's head coach, but he's the guy that obviously wanted them to draft Keanu Neal in the first round. And so Dan Quinn obviously thinks a lot of him. So it's really Keanu Neal. And then second might be DeMonte KZ, who's another guy that I'm sure some Cowboys fans probably just roll their eyes at, oh, wow, another Falcons guy. Like, were they really shutting teams down? But I just like the versatility there, that there's these veteran defenders that should know what Dan Quinn wants, and they should be on the right page. And there was so much last year on defense where guys weren't on the same page. They weren't all moving in the right direction. I think those are two guys that kind of help get them headed in the right direction and at least fill some holes a little bit. I still think out of their 10 draft picks, they probably need to spend at least 6, 7, maybe even 8 on defense. But as they sit right now, just going off that list of who they have signed, I think Neal's 1, and for me, Kazee is number 2.
John, if they drafted a tackle, would that mean to you that they're more concerned they're letting on about Tyron Smith, or is that just best player available and can certainly help them, especially given their depth issues on the offensive line a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would definitely speak to their concern about Tyron Smith, but even if they don't say it publicly, like, they're not going to really sit there and say that, we're nervous about Tyron Smith, we're nervous about Lyle Collins missing all last year, but the actions need to speak louder than the words, and the actions are that you should be concerned about those two positions. They're so important, and you got a total of 2 games out of both those guys combined last year. So I don't think that it takes you to the point where they're going to reach for an offensive tackle, but I certainly think that they're in a position that if Sewell or Slater were there, that they would have to seriously consider it because, I mean, let's be honest, the biggest investments on this team are on offense. And while Mike McCarthy's teams over in Green Bay didn't necessarily draft a ton of offensive linemen high in the draft, that's just been the Cowboys' way, And I know you can say that it was a Jason Garrett thing, but I think it was an entire organization needs a little bit of credit for that too. I mean, Stephen Jones really wanted Zach Martin when his dad wanted Johnny Manziel. I mean, it's more than just Jerry. I mean, it's more than just Jason Garrett on that philosophy. So if one of those guys was to fall, it would not surprise me at all if they took one of them because, like, especially with Slater, I think he's the most likely of the two to be there. I think, Sewell is pretty much the clear-cut number 1 offensive tackle in this class. He'll probably be gone before 10. But if Slater was there, it's interesting because he can play guard too. So, then you throw him in there and he can play at guard, compete at that left guard spot. And then if one of these guys gets injured at offensive tackle, he can move to either one of those spots. And let's be honest, Lyle Collins has had a pretty noticeable injury history. It's not like this last year was the first time he's had something. And it's not like Tyron Smith has played a full season at all in the last 5 years. So, I mean, if you draft one of these offensive tackles, the odds are they're going to get they're going to get some time starting the season, even if Tyron Smith and Lyle Collins are healthy to begin the season. They're going to need this third tackle.
John, this is outside of the Cowboys, but I was just wondering your thoughts on the Sam Darnold trade as we've, seen a lot of activity, a lot of talk about all these quarterbacks, and you've got the Watson situation out there, but there's been a lot of quarterback movement. What'd you think of Darnold to Carolina?
Yeah, I'm intrigued by it just because, I really didn't think going into his last year at LSU that Joe Burrow was anybody that you'd ever consider to be the first overall pick. And then he worked with Joe Brady, and it just seems like everything clicked, and Joe Burrow I don't know if it was the confidence or what, it just took it to another level. And obviously he had just an amazing Heisman Trophy winning season and one of the best seasons the college quarterbacks ever had, if not the best. And then, so you all of a sudden you match him up now that he's the OC with the Panthers. with Darnold, and I don't know. Like, I'm not sitting there. I don't think Sam Darnold is going to be one of the top 5-6 quarterbacks in the league or anything like that. But with Matt Rule and with Joe Brady over there, I just think that's a great situation for him. And to be honest, there's no first round picks involved in the trade or anything like that. I mean, I think it's a pretty good gift for Carolina with all things considered. Now, does that affect where the Cowboys are at 10? Like, because I think a lot of people had the Panthers taking a quarterback if one fell to them. I don't necessarily know that, because I don't even know if one of the elite good quarterbacks will even be there. There's a chance that the first 4 picks are all quarterbacks. So maybe it doesn't impact the quarterback as much, but now we know that Carolina won't be taking a quarterback there. So like a Penei Sewell, Rashawn Slater, we were just talking about, heck, even Kyle Pitts, it's going to be hard for them to get past Carolina, because now they've got the guy that they believe is their quarterback.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, John, as a follow-up, because the Sam Darnold trade does affect the Cowboys, because it takes a team that was going to be a surefire quarterback pick off the board, and then, look, that could be a guy, the team that takes Patrick Surtain, because, look, we know Phil Snow really well. We know he likes big defensive backs, so, you never know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it has some impact on the Cowboys, no doubt. For me, I just still feel like there's going to be a good player there that they're going to really like. The draft never falls perfectly like you think it's going to. Who would have thought even just a month ago that Mac Jones would be talked about at going at 3? And who knows? That could be a complete smoke screen. Mac Jones could still be there at 10, and then maybe all of a sudden, the Patriots want to come up there and get him, and they want to trade with the Cowboys or something. So there's a lot of moving pieces that still need to go into place, and a lot can change in these next couple of weeks. But I just think at 10, I think the Cowboys are still in a good spot, that they're going to get somebody that should be able to help them immediately, that fans and everybody that follows the team should probably be pretty pleased with, considering how bad last season was. And being at 10, they might still have a chance to get the first defensive player in this draft class, which is pretty rare.
John, thank you. Great to have some discussion about what they might do in the draft, because it means it's just around the corner as well. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it. John Machota from theathletic.com with us on Wednesdays, usually Wednesdays at 5 o'clock. All right, when we come back, we're pretty open. We have had 4 different angles, views, insight from the national championship in Baylor men's basketball from the 60s, 70s, 80s, the 2000s, and also most currently with both King Mcclure and also with Adam Flagler. Adam Flagler, he's just going to – I don't know who he's going to be. He's just going to be Adam Flagler. But do you kind of feel that confidence?
Oh, I think he's the leader of the team next season. I mean, he's the point guard. And look, they've got Kenny Brown and Jeremy Sohan and Langston Love coming in. All those guys appear to be guys who will play early. Hopefully we get to see what Dane Danger, the big guy that they brought in before, has. And we haven't seen much from some of the guys like Zach Loveday and Jordan Turner and those guys. Who knows what happens with a year in the gym and all that for them as well. So
Corey Jefferson, remember, even though he was you could drip with talent, remember Corey Jefferson.
Jordan Turner reminds me body style a bit of that, where although nobody was as skinny as Corey Jefferson. Charlie Melton told me, oh my gosh, this guy's going to get on the diet plan. I mean, a glorious diet plan. Most people would be scared of it, but I'm going to gain weight. No, here.
That's somebody I haven't thought about in a while, Corey Jefferson. I wonder what he thought about the national title. I haven't seen him on Twitter or anything, but anyways, I mean, the next year they're going to be very talented. They're just going to be a lot different looking. There will be some familiar faces, but guys definitely in different roles are taking on a lot more than they had to do this year. But, when you're likely losing Davion Mitchell, you're likely losing Jared Butler, you're likely losing Maceo Teague, and who was the fourth guy as well? Mark Vital. Yeah. Gosh, I mean, shoot, man, that's a lot to replace, but they've recruited well. They'll still have some talent.
So, obviously, the big media blitz today for the players. Mark Vital was on with Holly Rowe and Gabe Eichard and told them a story that Baylor had gotten wind that some of the Gonzaga guys had already ordered champagne for the postgame, and they took it to heart.
Whether that's true or not.
Whether that's true or not.
And again, if I'm Scott Drew, and I'm not going to let whatever's going to motivate them, I'm not going to, I'm not going to say anything until later. Whatever works. And that's, the other thing is sometimes that stuff can happen outside of the bubble. I would think as a coach, I would be worried about rumors about my team firing up the other one even more because you're in the same bubble. Like, you could hear it. Like, you could, who would know if Mark Patterson's standing downstairs getting a Coke out of the machine and then he hears Gonzaga players talking as they walk by. I mean, that's all.
On the other side of the glass.
Yeah, but I mean, you hear him walk, oh, there's the plan, and then, here it is.
Go back and listen to what Adam Flagler asked when I asked the question about what got them so in controlled anger, focused, froth through the mouth. He mentioned there was a little bit of something said by Scott Drew, right? They were the play by Maceo Teague, where he saves the ball, jumping over a row of seats, saves the ball on one side of the court, hustles all the way back, at least was nice enough to move the seats back, goes all the way across to the other side of the court to help almost block a shot of which Mark Vital got a rebound. That is controlled.
Which then started a run of a three, which Flagler made that three.
Yeah, Flagler on that fast break, had the nice pass from, who was that? Maybe it was Mitchell. I can't even remember now. But, yeah, just drained the three. They were incredible, man. That was an incredible team. That was an incredible team we just watched. I mean, you take one piece out of it, and it's a totally different team. I mean, they were tight, thick as thieves, off and on the court, and they worked really hard, and they did the small things that championship teams do, but really good teams that are even more known than just, a championship team. I mean, they're one of the all-time great teams, in my opinion. I mean, I think they showed that in that game Monday night. They won't get the credit for it, most likely, but they are. I mean, I don't think there's a debate with the way that they just coasted through the Final Four.
Yeah, watch this hustle. Okay. And he comes all the way back across and gets at least in the perimeter. Yeah. Just run that. Can you do it again? Because if you didn't, so Teague's on the left, back in the left corner. Tips, saves. Gonzaga saves it. Look where he comes from.
Yeah, just enough to
everybody talks about Davion Mitchell's defense and Jared Butler's, but Maceo Teague, the person he guards, scores like 7 points below their average.
His wingspan is Ashley Hodge. That long wingspan. That's incredible. That right there is just show that to every young kid who wants to play sports.
Well, I mean, show everything, the extra effort. I mean, they not only were as talented and just more physically, dominant mentally and physically and emotionally in many ways as well, but they just played harder. That's the thing. If you're Gonzaga and you're Mark Few, first thing is he probably needs to take Twitter's advice, which I don't say very often, and kind of step up the strength and conditioning game. I think that was very obvious from Monday night that they need to improve there. But also, I mean, that there did seem like there was kind of a little bit of entitlement or just we're good and we don't have to play as hard. But Baylor was like, hey, we're just as good as you, but we're going to play even harder, and it mattered.
And look, they've got a lot of guys on it. Like the two guys I think would fit Baylor's, if you swapped out guys that would fit Baylor and what they do.
Jalen Suggs?
Would be Jalen Suggs, who could play anywhere in any sport that he wanted to. I mean, that guy could play volleyball.
He's the one guy from Gonzaga actually had good thing. You could say good things about afterwards, and who actually improved his draft stock.
And I would say Ayayi fits what Baylor does a lot. He didn't have a great game, but he does. But Drew Timme, for as good as he is, for this particular Baylor team, doesn't fit what they do. Doesn't fit what they do, and. Maybe Corey Kispert because he's, he can shoot, but
got to play defense.
But you got to play defense, and he didn't do that. So there were guys that just didn't. You watch them, and before the tournament, if you had like a draft of just Baylor and Gonzaga players, it probably would have skewed a little bit more to Gonzaga nationally because people have been like, well, this Corey Kispert can shoot, and man, nobody's been able to stop Drew Timme, but. If you swapped him out,
I bet he.
I don't think a lot of those guys fit what Baylor did.
I bet he woke up in the middle of the night if he went to sleep, because it's hard. I mean, Baylor's had teams that have lost in that moment, not the national championship game since '48, but games you've lost and you wait, you can't sleep. You can't sleep because you're adrenaline because you win, but it's opposite as well, and because this was supposed to be their year. But I bet he woke up and always felt like there was somebody guarding him.
Oh, I mean, and as well he should. And you know what? It makes it so sweet that Baylor actually won it. Like, I mean, my gosh, I said it yesterday, but it'd be one thing, hey, they played hard and they came up short. that'd be a really tough pill to swallow for this team. I mean, the fact that they actually did it's just so incredible.
In such fashion. All right, now, go back to the text line, 254-339-1122. Also, the phone lines opened again, 254-339-1122. There's one note about Baylor and the court they used for the championship game in Indianapolis. And I was asked by Sarah Rogers on Twitter about how can fans, or how is there a chance to get a piece of the court? When we come back, if you have not seen my answer, I'll have some of that information, at least in a way, for you, because I did speak with somebody within Baylor Athletics. And this is SicEm365 Radio. Alan Samuels, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, Ted Teague. He texted me after the championship and was discussing how impressive it was. In fact, Ted Teague and I talked a couple of different times when it comes to our coverage from Indianapolis, one of the sponsors of that, and he was full throttle. He played like that when it comes to championship drive at the dealership right now at Alan Samuels, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Your friend in the car business, once again certified by J.D. Power as the winner of the Customer First Award for Excellence. Ram Truck Month continues, back to back to back. Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Top safety pick for trucks named in 2021. And right now, the 2021 new Ram 1500 Crew Cab, Lone Star, up the values of $5,500 or 0% for 84 months. The Jeep Celebration event continues. The most decorated SUVs available. 2021 Jeep Renegade Latitude, values of $5,250, 0% for 84 months. Also, the 2021 Jeep Cherokee Latitude Plus, $5,000 total values or 0% for 84 months. And the Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 2021 model for $3,750 up to $3,750 values, 0% for 72 months. It's there. These are incredible opportunities for you. And the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid Limited, total values of $7,000 or 0% for 72 months. That's the 2021 Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid Limited. And the championship drive is what they've been talking about, and Baylor reached that championship. You can reach a championship dealership. Alan Samuels, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, Loop 340 east of 84 in Waco.
I hate my job, but I don't mind getting up in the morning. I dread each day, but I can't wait to get out of bed. You ask me why, and what I'll say to you is true. Well, you can get breakfast tacos at Rudy's Barbecue. Scrambled eggs and brisket, they ain't fooling around. Salsa drap, son, they're the best in town. Barbecue for breakfast, yes, it's true. Put a smile on your morning at Rudy's Barbecue. Next in line.
It's a name and a memory that called us back. It's a belief and a labor that will carry us forward. It's a time and experience that will make you return. The new Bear Ridge Golf Club, a space revitalized, a course restored, a new experience. For a tee time today, call the Pro Shop at 254-848-7800. Go to BearRidgeWaco.com, just south of Waco on Highway 84. Come join us at Bear Ridge Golf Club.
Texas board-certified personal injury trial lawyer and Baylor alum David Willis and Baylor alum Parker Willis are ready to help if you or a loved one has been wrongfully injured in an auto accident, SUV rollover, industrial accident, 18-wheeler crash, or were seriously injured by a defective product or recall drug. Call them for a confidential and free case consultation at 1-800-GOT-HURT or visit them at TexasTrialLawyer.com. Principal office located in Houston, Texas.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed, put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
It's time to fire up the grill, heat up the oven, or get that deep fryer going to enjoy the top quality products at Waco Custom Marketplace. Order 30-pound sacks of live crawfish by 6 on Wednesday. Pick up on Friday afternoon after 2 or Saturday. Enjoy the weekend. 30-pound sacks of live crawfish available right now for $4.25 a pound. Find all the crawfish boil ingredients you need, including red beef potatoes, sausage, corn cobbettes, and Louisiana boil seasoning. Make your order for live crawfish by Wednesday at 6. Pick up on Friday after 2 or all day Saturday, and enjoy the weekend. Waco Custom Marketplace, your home for fresh baked kolache, cinnamon rolls every day. Butcher shop to cut your steaks the way you want. Fresh seafood, summer sausage, boudin, house cured and smoked bacon, spices, seasoning, soup mixes, and more, and weekly gift boxes for any occasion. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
It takes time to reach goals. It's a truth that applies to more than sports. It goes for your financial goals as well. You work hard for your money, and you deserve an investment strategy that lines up with your game plan. And Tom Albers, your Edward Jones financial advisor, can help. If your financial investments aren't putting forth the effort you desire, stop by today for a financial review. Tom Albers, 4301 Lakeshore Drive, 254-776-7605. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Welcome back to SicEm365 Radio.
The SicEm365 Radio app is sponsored by Alan Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Waco. Your friend in the car business at Loop 340 and east of 84. Come by. Let's be friends.
All right, here we go. SicEm365 Radio. Armstrong Sims was kind of stretching over there. Nobody cared. I asked how you're doing. Everything okay with Armstrong?
I think Armstrong's got a bit of a cake hangover.
No, I was just...
This is the largest cake you can get if you like customize. We had... Craig, did you have a piece?
No, I didn't have a piece yesterday.
That was your favorite kind. It was chocolate cake with white icing, I think it was, or elite icing.
My favorite cake is Great American Cookie Company. Those cookies.
No, you love those. And those are easy to get. Yeah, they are. All right, and that's like pizza. It tastes good the next day, too, you know?
Few days.
Paul, did you have a piece?
Yes, I did. I took one home. Yeah.
You had a piece and took one home?
I took a piece home, yes. But
then there's Armstrong.
I took home over half the cake.
Who, as I walk in yesterday afternoon, I want to get to this floor from Indianapolis. So I walk in yesterday afternoon, and Armstrong's pouting because there was no, the first anniversary show, said something about a cake, pouting. I had a cake in the front seat of the car. Ordered it after I landed and was driving just to unload all the crap into my condo and get to the station. And during that time, ordered a cake. He asked me 2 things yesterday. Didn't ask how my trip was. How you doing? Are you going to order a pizza? And is there a cake? And guess what? I ordered a pizza, and there was a cake in the front seat of the car.
Yeah. Why do you think he expects it now?
Yeah.
He did it.
Well, that's it. We're done. We're done. No more.
He's, what have the up-tempo guys ever done for him?
Yeah.
Can you answer that on the air?
Did they get you pizza,
they don't
and
get
cake?
me pizza.
Listen. Okay, now, I want to get to this, and we're going to get back to Armstrong and his cake, how big it was. So I was asked this question by Sarah Rogers on Twitter. Hey, David Smoak, has anyone asked Rhodes if we are buying the championship floor? I've seen that at other schools, and it's so cool, would be great in some area of the new arena. And I was then told by somebody in Baylor Athletics up the food chain that there will be an opportunity perhaps even for that to happen. And who knows, maybe there's a way for Baylor fans to get involved as well. I'm not saying it's like a turf at Floyd Casey that people could buy that or a chair. I don't know about that. But I have a lot of you who started responding with like a GIF with a check. Name, cost. How much? Where do I send the check to? I don't know exactly if that means you yourself can have like a part of the floor. You would think that's a possibility, but maybe they put that in a practice area. I don't know.
I was going to say, didn't the Lady Bears take the court from one of their title wins and use that to replace? So I would think that if, like, the new practice facility, that would be the court to put down as the new practice facility court would be the national championship court. If you could do that, if you could manage to do that and hold on to it for a couple of years while the facility is being built. Ideally, that's what I would do, not thinking, obviously, of the fans who would want pieces. Selfishly, if they are going to sell them off, I would love to hit the lottery in the next couple of days, and I would outfit the floor here with the court, because that would be the finishing touch. Would be that court layout.
That would be the nuts.
Oh my gosh, it'd be perfect. It'd be the cherry on top. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna hit the lottery in the next couple of days.
Here's the thing: they could have the national championship one, and then we could get the old one.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a fair enough trade.
I think when you walk into the new field house, and just the wall right there is just the middle logo, just right there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You know, it's really neat that they did. I'm telling you, Indianapolis did what is, to me, a mind-numbing job hosting 68 teams, 67 games. They had VCU had a slight flare-up that knocked them out. They had the Alabama something happened there. The only time I ever heard much about it, St. Elmo's, they're one of the famous. They have so many steakhouse, like most big cities, but St. Elmo's got shut down on Saturday and Sunday night because of a COVID flare-up. I had eaten there on Friday, so both of you guys are in trouble. And Ben Erlinson had bought me dinner. It was fantastic. It was fantastic food. Their shrimp cocktail. You know, you have the little after kick with the horseradish.
After? Like, it's pretty much present.
I can't do horseradish.
It took Ben absolutely apparently to his knees because they had already had it before, because I had to do the show till 7. I got there and Ben kept have shrimp cocktail, not her shrimp cocktail, and I had it, and it, there's a little bit of that clears your nostril, but I never was uncomfortable where you had to grab, drink something. You know what the difference is? Apparently they use what is not oil based, but it's alcohol based. Where oil will just stick everywhere, right? Just kind of.
Yeah, there's only a few cities.
I don't know. I'm not talking about like vodka. Just some kind of an alcohol base.
I'll just say there's only a few cities in America that can handle what Indianapolis just did. I mean, and honestly, because of the commitment civically to do it. Like Houston could have done it, I think.
Oh,
because
they have that many arenas.
Yeah,
Houston.
Space.
Houston's got space.
Couldn't use Reliant.
You're Reliant.
Well, that's where you'd play the game. Maybe Houston and Robertson, whatever they call that. I don't know. It's used to be the football.
Houston, and then where the
Rockets play.
Yeah,
but to Paul's point, you couldn't have done this in New Orleans.
Yeah, you couldn't. New Orleans couldn't have done it. Because again, they don't have the facilities. Plus,
or the
you can't bubble in New Orleans. You can't just do that.
You never want a bubble in New Orleans. That's why you go there.
That's a fool's errand akin to when Charlie Strong said, "I'm going to kick all the guys who smoke weed off the Longhorns in Austin, Texas."
And all of a sudden,
now I have 85 open scholarships. But I mean, Indy did a great job. They really did, and that's one place I haven't been. But you guys raved about your Super Bowl trip there a few years ago. It's a good city apparently, and they did an incredible job. I mean,
I don't think many other cities could have done it.
Probably not.
One of the things about Indy that the Super Bowl I noticed, and I don't know if they did this for the Final Four, and they might have, but when we would walk around downtown Indy in the Super Bowl, they had people about every block or so.
Nah, not really.
Yeah, I mean, I guess COVID, but every block or so that if you were kind of looking around for something to go or something to eat, they'd be like, "Hey, do you need some help? Do you need some directions?" And "Oh, you'd like to go to St. Elmo's Steakhouse? It's 3 blocks up and 2 over." And
how about this though for a row of restaurants? One, St. Elmo's was, I don't know if it's Illinois Street, whatever street it is. So you turn the corner, and right there in the corner, there's a sports bar that's connected kind of to the mall. And then to the right of that, you have P.F. Chang's. To the right of that, you have Ruth Chris. Mm-hmm. And to the right of that, there's another one. And then right down, not even a block away, you have St. Elmo's. And right next to that's a place called Harry and Lizzie's, which is connected, same type of food. And it's a sports bar where it's kind of raised up. Did
you get to the Weber Grill?
Yeah, no, I did. Remember the Weber Grill where there was a peace pipe used, remember? And No, I did. I went there. I went to every one of the ones I just mentioned, and just kind of did a little bit. I actually. It's amazing. I love P.F. Chang's. We used to travel. Now we have one in our own city, and I've been there like maybe 5 times.
Oh, whatever. You've been there more than 5 times.
Well, I go by there to pick up, sometimes to pick up.
Well, support P.F. Chang's in Waco because I don't want it to go away.
No.
And I love that it's here.
The first night I was there, the first thing I did in Indianapolis, the first time is I went to P.F. Chang's for dinner. But they've got other places as well, some really good. Capitol Grill's a great place.
I want them to put the miso butter lobster dumplings on the menu full time.
What?
They have these thing. I went with my mom for her birthday.
Lobster dumplings?
The dumplings.
Oh, okay.
They have miso butter lobster dumplings. And
like crawfish tail?
Yes, it's unbelievable. It's great.
All right. So, but I don't know about how many teams or cities have that kind of basketball mentality where you have Hinkle Fieldhouse and its history. And, yeah, there were some that were more spread out. And if you were in Houston or elsewhere, you'd have to do that. Like, for example, West Lafayette with Purdue, Indiana University. You have... what's Bankers Fieldhouse where the Pacers play, the Lucas Oil, Hinkle, and then a couple of others. I thought it was fantastic. I really, really do. I really think that city could host a Super Bowl again, although I'm not sure if they'll get that chance again.
Yeah. I mean, hell, they can't even bring it back to Arlington. It's been nearly 20 years.
The year before Indianapolis had it. Yeah.
You know what probably scares them is that we just had another ice storm.
Yeah. The first one since the last one that messed up the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing: is like we can have an ice storm, but they had a Super Bowl in Minneapolis, which is a perpetual ice storm. They know how to handle it. I think part of the reason that Texas they're going to be reticent to do another Super Bowl in Texas is if the weather turns bad again, we've clearly shown no capability to handle it.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're doing.
I can't imagine Minneapolis is getting one anytime soon.
No, they got this.
I mean, just politically, it just seems kind of a mess as well. And so, I would love to see them come back to Arlington, but they just don't even seem to be thinking about that really at all. And by the time they do come back, I mean, that stadium's going to be 20, 25 years old. Mm-hmm. I mean, really, you think about how long it's been. They'll go from having hosted one like right away to 25 years later, which I don't think they ever could have imagined that. But, yeah, I'll have to check out Indy sometime. I mean, you couldn't really tell much from the city based on the coverage just because there was no reason to really cover much throughout the city with everything bubbled up. But, hey, it'll always be the place that Baylor men went and won their national championship.
I'll tell you, it was one of those
to get to, and then go ahead.
Yeah, it was one of those places that when we were going there, my perception of it from it's just a kind of a city in the Midwest to what it actually was so different.
Mm-hmm. It's not like really, really modern, but downtown they've cleaned it up. It looks nice. I've never been there prior to that, but they do a good job. The Skywalk was closed because of obvious reasons, connections into the hotels, which normally connect you to the convention center, downtown to the mall, and all those restaurants. Now, let's see, from Daniel. I was hoping one of y'all would have asked John Machota. Oh, wait, he's damn right I should have done that. If he thought the Cowboys would have any interest in signing RG3, because RG3 yesterday said he'd love to stay in his home state. My opinion is they should at least think about it. Who would you rather have as a backup, Garrett Gilbert or Robert Griffin III or Cooper Rush?
RG3.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose RG3, love Robert, but I don't know even how much of a difference there is with all those guys or what the Cowboys are looking for, but I would love to see them. And I hate that we all just kind of blanked on that from yesterday, but we'll have to make a note to ask next time. I would love it for Robert, ultimately. I mean, forget what it would do for the Cowboys and all that. I would just love to see him get that opportunity to back up Dak. I think he would be a good presence there. I think he, did a good job with Lamar Jackson and kind of how he handled all of that being in the background.
And he and Dak have very similar personalities.
Yeah.
I think they'd get along really well.
Mm-hmm.
From Gunny, and I don't know, he said, don't give Ashley Hodge ideas on that court. Now, see, I'm hoping that, I don't think I may have overstepped my bounds on getting a piece of the court. I think Baylor can bring the part of the court or whatever the court, and they would then, you would think, would they not maybe then want a piece? You could go get a piece of the wood or whatever it is.
I don't know. That's the same thing as being able to just cut up pieces of grass in squares.
No, it's not.
I mean, you're talking about planks of wood and I still think the best idea is the new facility. That's your practice court. I mean, that's what you won a national title on. That's what the Lady Bears have done in the past. So that's what I would do. But, hey, I'm sure, Baylor's not opposed to making money. So if there was enough people out there that feel like they would, pony up for a piece of the court, then, maybe they would consider it. But, yeah, we'll have to ask Mac Rhodes about that.
All right. And then also one more. I thought we had one more. Scotty B. interesting question for you all. If you had the name of the men's basketball movie or 30 for 30 from where Baylor was 18 years ago to the NCAA championship, what would the name of the 30 for 30 be? Or the movie?
Well, Culture of Joy comes to mind immediately.
There you go.
Yeah. That's what comes to mind immediately. But if you're doing like a from this to that kind of thing, from Scandal to whatever, I mean, the one I was trying to think of something catchy the other night, and I just gave up because I was like, you try to force something like that, then it's not really as catchy as you think.
Culture of Joy is a good name for a 30 for 30. A movie's got to be a little bit more succinct, I think, because you can in a documentary kind of expand on that a little bit more.
Isn't it weird? And this is where my mind is nuts. But so where did Scott Drew play basketball? I mean, where did he go to college?
Butler.
Where did they win a game or two?
Indianapolis.
But Butler.
Butler, yeah.
At Hinkle Fieldhouse. What's his star guard's name?
Jared Butler.
Yeah, there's some connections there. Some word connections there.
What it got some like dark clouds to whatever, or there would be something like that, and people get paid or
dark to daylight or something.
Yeah,
like that,
I was thinking the other night of something like from the leftovers to last team standing. Something along those lines. That's too long though, so I just like I said, I gave up on it. But I'm Culture of Joy. I think that's the phrase they've been riding with all year. That would make for a good title.
I'll
for
tell
one
you
of them.
because Matt Samon's book was The Leftovers. And I'll say this, it almost, because it's 18 years, I don't know if a movie could do it justice because there are so many phases of the team that are interesting stories that you want to cover. Like you could do an episode, like you could do a 10 episode, Netflix series on it that would be, starting out with the, right at the beginning with The Leftovers with the guys like Matt Samon and Terence Thomas and all that. So, and then moving on, through there. And then the next episode maybe is the Elite Eight appearance and then, on and on and on. So you can do that. I remember maybe that's the movie, but
there's got to be something.
It would be hard to put into a movie the explanation for why this was such a recovery. Not that it would be hard because of the subject matter. It's just, it's not real simple. Like it's kind of a complicated thing what occurred. And I still see 95% of the people who want to talk trash or say something, they don't even have the story correct still. Like it's always half wrong or just the way people hear things.
And again, Dave Bliss didn't get fired because of what happened between the players necessarily.
Yeah.
It's what happened after.
Right, him trying to cover his ass.
So again, because that could have a situation like that is so strange and rare and weird. You can't blame Dave Bliss for that particular thing happening. You can blame him for everything he did after that. So I think that's where people get confused. There could be other coaches that same thing could happen. It's not his fault that it happened,
I can't tell you how many times I've seen in the last year that the former coach helped cover up that's kind of the wrong. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is there's a lot of people that still don't have the story all the way right
and never will,
and so that's what I'm saying. Is it would probably be beneficial, but also very complicated to try to explain that in a movie in 10, 15 minutes or so.
It would start with something really, really dark.
But the ending would be awesome.
So on SicEm365.com, there's a thread about the champagne and Gonzaga, whatever. There's a couple of responses to this. Today, kids in a third world country drinking Gonzaga champagne while wearing Gonzaga national championship T-shirts. I thought it was going to be about their play. Okay, let's see. I bet the mustache stroking, showboating Timmy was one of them. Let's see here. I wonder if Tang stacked some cases of champagne by the Gonzaga locker room and then pointed them out to our team.
All you need to do, honestly, you could go to a liquor store and ask them for empty champagne boxes. And they'll be like, look, there's 50 in the back.
Yep.
Liquor stores all over the place have more boxes. Like if you're moving, go to a liquor store and ask for boxes because they're like, please take them off our hands. They could, I could go to Riverbend right now and say, you guys got some boxes? Like, yeah, please.
Yep.
Our dumpster's overflowing. Please take these boxes. You could just go to a liquor store and be like, hey, you guys have any, champagne boxes? And then just put them outside of Drew Timmy's room.
I'm telling you, there was something. I've been to a lot of their games. I've been to almost all their home games this year. And then a lot of the tournament games, not Kansas City, not the first two rounds. You could feel it. And what Matt Norlander said when when Davion Mitchell was sitting there kind of like this and watching as Gonzaga's lineup was being introduced, is dark, and everyone else, you could tell they were jacked up to an extreme, but they did it in control. Yeah. It's one thing to overmodulate. Okay, when we come back, Paul Catalina's 5 at 5:55. Lovie Smith joins us tomorrow, by the way, Texans defensive coordinator, among others. This is SicEm365 Radio.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
At Marco's Pizza, get craveable pizza made the Italian way with dough made from scratch, an original sauce recipe, 3 fresh signature cheeses, and premium toppings you love, served hot and safe. Right now, you can get unlimited medium one-topping pizzas for just $6.99 each. Why stop at just one? Order with your app or at marcos.com for curbside, carryout, or delivery today. Marco's, pizza lovers get it.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Engel with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like instant issue debit cards free at all of our banking centers, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, rye, brimstone, and the all-new lineage in stock. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive at 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of service in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, your hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Come see us at the new Baylor Scott and White Ted and Sue Getterman Sports and Orthopedic Center. Trust the doctors at Baylor Trust, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jeweler, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store and more.
Welcome back to SicEm365 Radio.
The SicEm365 Radio Live Guest VIP Hotline is sponsored by Stonewood Dental. We are all in this together.
All right. Tiger Woods, again, the wreck. Paul, doing 84 to 87 miles an hour and a speed suggestion of 45.
Limit.
You know, I don't always adhere to the speed limit. I'll admit that, but I definitely don't do double in a 45.
And it was like this.
I mean, that's just stupid. That's what that is. I don't care what time of day it is. That's just dumb.
He was apparently late going to meet Drew Brees to play golf. And
here's one quick baseball note that Paul's
and you know what? And like that's what everybody's saying is, oh, I'm running late. Well, now Tiger's got severe rehabilitation. His golf career might be over, and yeah, he's going to be in a lot of pain for a long time.
I know,
so
it hurts.
You know, but hey, I'm glad that he almost got to that meeting on time. I hope that was well worth it. And I'm not trying to bash on Tiger. That goes for anybody driving a car and think that going 80 in a 40 is okay because you were running late for something. Come on.
You hear what he said?
Yeah, I know.
Here we are, 2 years to the week in which he gave us one of the greatest thrills in sports history.
Mm-hmm.
Back-to-back 12 strikeout games. Shane Bieber, back-to-back years, has had back-to-back 12 strikeout games. The last before him, Nolan Ryan in 1978.
Wow.
Yeah, to start a year.
To start a year.
Yeah.
All right, Paul.
It's pretty impressive.
This is Paul Catalina's Top 5 at 5:55.
All right, top 5 actors that could play Scott Drew.
Here we go.
Brought to you by Slapstick Comedy Club.
I like it.
Saw Kevin the other day, and things are coming along there. So big things happening are going to bring the funny back to Waco. All right, number 5. This one,
the Bears brought the national championship.
Number 5, this one, he's one of the stars of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but he's got the right build. He's about the right age to where he could play younger and then older Scott Drew. Charlie Day.
Yeah, from It's Always Sunny. I just laugh looking at him, so I don't know if I would be able to take him serious as Scott Drew, but yeah, he's similar looking enough that they could make it work.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Hairlines can kind of do it.
He's a
gotta
funny
cut
dude,
the hair,
though.
Yeah, you got to trim that hair down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 4, and this was changed out. Some of this is aggregated from SicEm365.com, by the way, on the board. Number 4, Paul Rudd.
Yeah, Ant-Man.
Yeah, Paul Rudd could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see Paul Rudd as Scott Drew. Yeah. I could see that.
All right. Number 3, from The Dark Knight Rises, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That'd be a more serious movie.
Who the hell is that?
Probably, right? I mean, he can do comedy, but he's I think of him as more of a serious actor.
What?
He's a really good actor.
He's a fantastic actor.
Yeah, I could see that.
He looks like Scott Drew. It looks more like Grant McCaslin.
Yeah, well, maybe he plays Graham
Okay,
McCaslin. There we
put
go.
on about 35 pounds of muscle and play Graham McCaslin. Yeah.
All right. Number 2, Jason Bateman.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. Jason Bateman can play anything.
Yeah, he doesn't have much of a resemblance, but he is a good actor, and
he can make it look.
I just comb the hair, to a different part or whatever, and yeah.
All right, number 1. This seems to be the internet's number 1.
That's it.
Is Coach Taylor himself, Kyle Chandler, and he might be too old though right now to do it. Like that's my concern about Kyle Chandler is he's
seasoned.
Yeah, he's probably 7-8 years older than Scott Drew, maybe. I don't know.
I would think maybe even more, but yeah, I mean, at least that probably. But yeah, I mean, that's Coach Taylor from Friday Night Lights, and a Texas legend fictionally, but still a Texas legend nonetheless. And he's already got the draw. So yeah, I mean, I think that's been the most popular one that I've seen, and would have to be the leading candidate.
He's 55, so he's a little bit older than Scott right now.
Getting up there.
There was a lot of people saying Bob Odenkirk on the message board, on our board. Yeah. And listen, Bob Odenkirk can play anybody, but he's too old.
Yeah.
He's considerably older than Scott Drew.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm watching a podcast of where Bob Odenkirk is talking about being a writer at SNL in 1991. Scott Drew was still in high school,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here's a text on it. Since he resembled Bryan Cranston,
also
coming off the plane yesterday, since he's a great actor, I'd say Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
That's from Marshall.
Yeah.
The age thing would probably make it somewhat problematic for certain guys, but yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of great candidates, and this isn't just your typical, feel good basketball story or something like that. There's a lot to this, and a lot of depth to it. So, that's going to obviously take forever to get that thing going and made eventually, but it'll be cool to see who plays.
By the way, one guy only plays Jerome Tang is Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle.
There was a thread. Is it on SicEm365.com about this?
Yeah. It's where that's kind of what was the inspiration for the top 5 for me.
Yeah, you mentioned that, but I can't find it now.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of guys that are on there for Jerome Tang.
Yeah. Personally, I'm going to say Paul Rudd.
And John McClain, if he's a part of it, Val Kilmer or
Paul Rudd, I think actually might be the best candidate to play him. Actually,
they're the same age.
Cheery.
Same age.
Is he the one in the gray jacket?
No, that's Jason Bateman. Paul Rudd all the way to the left. Blue jacket all the way to the left.
He's very cheery. He can kind of play the super nice guy. Mm-hmm. I could see that. I could see him or Coach Taylor. Quite frankly, I mean, but hey, I'd be interested in watching any of these guys. Yeah,
just talk about it. But there's going to have to be one. There's going to have to be at least a 30 for 30 period minimum. All right, thanks to every one of you that sent us a text, called the show today. We had a mixture of that, plus our guest today on SicEm365 Radio, including Rob Bolton on the Masters. We'll have Art Strickland from Augusta National tomorrow, Terence Thomas, King Mcclure, Tommy Bowman. Man, he was great storytelling. Adam Flagler and John Machota. For Paul Catalina, for Craig Smoak, for all of our sponsors. 2 days into year number 2 of SicEm365 Radio. Thanks to Armstrong Sims. I'm David Smoak. Enjoy and soak in the national championship. Good night. Know why Stonewood Dental is so successful? Listen to what happy customers have to say.
It's pleasant. It's different than any other dentist office. I really feel like they care. And it's not that you're here for 2 hours waiting on someone to take care of you. It's quick and easy, and I bring my kids, and my kids love being here too. They really love the treasure box. Staff is really nice and accommodating, real friendly. You feel more like home. It's not sterile looking. Everybody has their own personalized rooms with decorations and decor, and they'll even have a blanket for you when it's cold. I've recommended people to actually come here, and they are patients now. I really love it here. It feels like family.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com. Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
It's the Jeep Celebration event going on now at Allen Samuels. You'll find special pricing on a new 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo with total values up to $3,750 or 0% for 72 months. Also, check out the new 2021 Jeep Cherokee Latitude Plus or Luxe with up to $5,000 in total values or 0% interest for 84 months. Allen Samuels, the best place to find your new Jeep. Located at 201 West Loop 340.
Come by. Let's be friends.
See dealer for details. All offers have credit requirements.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has been proudly serving Texans across the state for over 60 years. Call 254-772-8090 to find an agent who will provide a free review of your auto, home, and life coverage.
Ideal MRI is a small family business right here in Central Texas. We're open to support you while lowering the cost of healthcare bills. When you need an MRI, ask your doctor for an Ideal MRI. Visit us at idealmri.com or call us at 833-IDEAL-MRI.
One size fits all. That may be all right for an adjustable belt or cheap sunglasses, but when it comes to your financial needs, no one wants a one-size-fits-all strategy. Ben Erlinson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, knows that his most important goals are yours. That's why he takes the time to understand your needs, knowing you. That's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.